Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Harness Tube as we're in the Cole County Fair down in Charleston, Illinois for the third day of harness racing. Steve Surratt, David Brink here with you today with the broadcast as we get ready to go for harness racing today. We're glad that you're on board and a part of the broadcast. And David, the track announcer, again today. We're set up a little bit differently. Hopefully he can banter back and forth. We might even banter some with the grandstands. At least they'd be able to hear his side of the banter. But
Steve.
Yep, there you go.
I'm telling you, go ahead and pump us through them. I think that's a cool idea. Those guys are on board. See,
well,
now you're getting nervous.
We can make that switch, but
now you're getting nervous.
I'm a little nervous on that. Yeah.
We're talking.
I'd want to experiment with that first.
We're talking about the idea of putting our harness tube audio broadcast into the grandstand to do the fill, so that I'm not having to fill while Steve's filling on air, and vice versa. It could be a cool idea to let the locals kind of hear, the newbie questions, the ads, the banter, the handicapping, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing with that is I'd have to change my outputs here, and I don't have the output to switch that over today. I brought the kitchen sink with me, but I didn't bring the pipe to go below the kitchen sink, okay? But we've got harness racing. We've got 10 on the card today. Post time is 12:30. And we want to ask you to like or subscribe or to follow us on YouTube. And I'll get this straightened out here just in a second as I was making changes, so people can see that. But we'll tack her back to the beginning here, where we should be. And but we want you to like or subscribe or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. We've been increasing in subscribers. We're pretty close to that 500 mark.
Yep.
We really need to get to the 1,000 mark on that as far as like and subscribes. And we know you're out there because guess what? You're watching.
Right.
And the number watching is more than our subscribers are. So what we want you to do, go up there, the corner of the screen, you'll see a subscribe. You need to subscribe. If you have a YouTube account, it will send you notification.
And you know what? Let me say this. If you're maybe older and don't think you need an email or a Google account, or that seems unnecessary, let me offer this up. Just come up with a smithstable@gmail.com email account and have someone help you set it up. And then you can use that to access all, the new things related to horse racing, right? If you want to subscribe to our channel, if you want to watch the Springfield to Coin races through Trot and Pace Marketing, you can subscribe to theirs. It'll give you kind of access to have full contact with our sport throughout the state, kind of the way we're doing here, and not just limit you to what we're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, those are some of the things you can do to get to harness tube. The other thing is we have a thing called the backstretch. And David, tell them about the backstretch and what we'd like for them to do on that.
The backstretch is my favorite part of the fair, the races, and what I mean by that is growing up, hanging out on the backstretch, the people you meet, the stories you make, you remember you have, the jokes you tell, the laughs you have, and we want to extend that out to the virtual world, to our viewers out there watching us all across. We're not there with you, but send me an email. Drop us a comment, go to Facebook, whatever you have, just contact us and let us know something you're thinking about, if it's your favorite memory, if it's maybe a question you have, is so-and-so still around, I haven't seen them, or whatever happened to this horse, or I remember, all that kind of stuff just helps give us things to talk about that are fun and topical and other people want to hear about. It's not just, what's David thinking about today? It's, oh yeah, I forgot about that person, or I forgot about that big mile that happened here 5 years ago.
All right, with that, you can do that today either at harnestube@gmail.com. You can chat with us live on YouTube. Or the third option, a couple of people used yesterday, you can give me a text at 217-740-9234.
And while we're on this slide, I want to go ahead and say in the past we've been putting out the race programs about a half an hour ahead of time on Facebook to our followers there. So if you're at home, you can follow along with the actual race pages. You don't have to be limited to just watching our little slide panel there. But we've also went ahead and added that to our YouTube description. If you go below the video, it'll say something like County Fair Harness Racing Events in Illinois. And below that, you'll have a link to go get the PDF of the program. So if you can download it, print it off, something like that, and follow right along.
All right, with that, we'll take a station break and give our sponsor some time here. We're at the Coles County Fair in Charleston, Illinois, harness racing for today.
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate. We've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Steve Surratt, David Brink back with you on the broadcast today on Harness Tube. David, as we look at it, we've only got 2 races left to do, and that's coming up at home at the Brown County Fair in Mount Sterling on Saturday and Sunday.
We're getting back to the final little stretch of our season. We're getting back home. We're getting to Mount Sterling. We're getting to the big downstate classic races. Sunday, I'm excited. The next couple of days will be fun. The next few days, we're here today. We've been here, all week.
Now I know everybody's praying for rain, but be a little more specific to God with that prayer that says
Sunday,
start raining.
4 o'clock.
It can start raining at about 11 o'clock tonight and go to about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Just give us a good steady rain, then quit for the daytime hours, and then you can pick up and rain again at night.
It's not that the rain really ruins the track. It washes it when it runs across as a problem, but we need the sunlight and the wind. If it's overcast, that track just doesn't dry out. That moisture comes up through with the dew in the morning. You need the air. You need to keep it aerated and sunlight on it. If we get a little rain, I think we could stand some at Brown County.
And the other thing with that, we'll have this on the slides this weekend, is if your fair was not on the schedule or you were on the schedule and you want us back, need to contact David at harnesstube@gmail.com, or if you've got his phone number, give him a call. But you need to contact him to be on the schedule for next year.
We know that the fairs for next year aren't planned out yet, and you don't really know the dates and whatnot, especially with what dates they'll be racing horses. That all comes later. But if the interest is there, if your fair board's saying, yeah, get them back, or we want them at our fair, if there's interest is there, reach out. We'll kind of keep tabs of who's hot and who's not and whatnot, and we want to go kind of where we can and where we're wanted. So, just reach out, open the communication. We love talking about this whole project and how we can better it and help the horsemen even more. So if you have, idea, hey, come to this fair, we do this and it's great. Cool. Tell us about it. We'll show up or whatever.
And along the way, I'll give you an example. If your fair wants to help us out, they could buy an ad, because I know like the Brown County's got ads running on local TV. How about paying for an ad to be on about your county fair several weeks before your fair comes so that you can put the news out there
and we do
of
have
everything.
Monthly ad slots, so you don't have to buy a full season ad if you want to run maybe the month before your fair or, something like that. That's a great idea, and that would definitely make us want to come to your fair if you wrote us a check, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, there's lots of things. We can tell you we've kind of figured out what our expenses are and what it's going to cost to get us to different locations. This year we kind of went as a lot of the races were close to cut the expenses down where we didn't have to stay overnight. And so this is one of those few. And I'm going to plug our Airbnb out there, the Loft, just south of town. I think it's got a Hutton address
out there.
I
meant to do that as well, and I didn't get it done, but you're absolutely right. That was, a heads-up call on your guys' part to get that booked for us. Those of you who follow us on Facebook noticed I posted yesterday morning. I get up early in the morning and kind of work on some stuff for this harness tube and do some data entry. I was drinking coffee outside on the patio in rural southern Illinois, gorgeous, beautiful, listening to the birds and crickets, and there was a couple fawns, 40 yards behind me just eating in the edge of the woods. They didn't care I was there.
That's Tim and Joanna out at Harmony Lane. It's called The Loft. It's an Airbnb. Beautiful location, beautiful place that they have there.
And it sleeps, I think, 6 on the Airbnb site at list. But we were talking today, if you brought, there's an acre and a half. If you brought a tent or something, you could bring a whole family for the weekend there and have a little retreat and never leave and just have a big family hangout all together.
And I think the cost was $125 with all the things in it. You can check what the price is depending on the season for that. But you can take a look at that. But we want to give them a big thanks and a shout out for what they do. They're on Airbnb. If you search the Charleston area, you will find them on Airbnb. And I'll give you an example. Such a nice couple. Apparently something fell in my pocket as we were getting in the car. It was under the car and the SD card, and they called me and said, you at the fair today, we'll bring it in to you. And those are the kind of folks that we have out there.
And nothing against hotel chains and whatnot, but that's just the personal service. That's what we're all about with Harness Tube. The whole county fair, the community feel, the helping each other out, the small town stuff. We're happy to support a family from rural America who has a nice little property and they're renting out. And this is just it feeds into the whole concept.
I don't know what time you got to start your pre-race stuff. We're at 18 after. Bud, we're 12 minutes away from race time.
Okay.
I'm going to turn you down and let you focus on that.
I'm still trying to do my handicapping over here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to turn you down, and I'll take over some of the announcing right now. All right, folks, on the screen, what we have is our donors. They're generously given, not only our advertisers, but you can donate just to keep it free for people on the air on YouTube. We would love that if you would help us out with that. And there are several ways you can do that. You can go to Venmo or you can go to PayPal, and you just put @HarnessTube. That's @HarnessTube. And you can send us that or an old-fashioned check. David's got mostly old-fashioned checks at P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, Illinois, 62353. That's P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, Illinois, 62353. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Come join us for the 25th Annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Hardhead's Little Chris will be driven by Wyatt Evanetti. Wyatt Evanetti on the 5 in the third race. The 4th and 5th are clear. 6th and 7th are clean. If you flip over to the 8th race, we have a scratch. Scratch the 4, Feisty Ann. Feisty Ann in the 8th race. The 4 horse is a scratch. The next race is the 9th race. We have a scratch. The 1 horse, Roland Cali, is a scratch. Scratch the 1 in race 9, Roland Cali. And in today's finale, the 10th race, scratch the 4, Stormato. Scratch the 4, Stormato in the 10th race. Horses and pre-race activities coming up soon.
All right, the activities are coming up here pretty quick. Again, we're going to float out there the backstretch because we really like hearing from you folks as far as that's concerned. On the backstretch, we like to hear where you're watching and listening from, and there's about 3 ways now that you can do that. One is the chat part on YouTube. If you've got an account on there, you can chat on YouTube. As David's put out there, live at the Cole County Fair in Charleston in the final day of harness racing, we thank you for joining us. We do. We thank you all for joining us. So you can put a note out there on YouTube. You can also do it through David's Gmail at harnesstube@gmail.com. Harnesstube@gmail.com. The third way is text me, 217-740-9234. That's 217-740-9234. The other thing we need to do is talk about the GoFundMe account for the Finn family. Everybody knows that's in harness racing about the tragedy that happened with the passing of Harper Finn and the accident that occurred there. That family not only can use your financial help, but could use your prayers. And so we would appreciate it if you could do that. And you go to the GoFundMe.com and just type in the Finn family, and you'll find that in the search. And so just help that family out. The biggest thing you can do as a pastor, I will tell you, is pray for them and support them in any way you possibly can. Yeah. If you're in the area and can help them out, that would be great. And so with that, we want to thank the following volunteers that have brought this before us via YouTube, Facebook, all different kinds of things, and some of them still doing that because we haven't been at every single fair. So we want to thank the people on the screen for doing what they're doing. And so with that, we're just about ready for the pre-race activities that are going on here. And track announcer David Brink today, as we've got horses warming up. We've just about got all our judges to the stand, so we'll be good with that. And I don't know, David, do we need to move down a little bit more so she's got room to get her computer in there? I don't know. Okay. All right, with that. So we've got some things going on here. And one of my favorite things, got a young man doing the outrider work, David, and who is that young man?
Trotter Titus. That's Mitch Titus' son. He's talk about a horseman. That little kid can ride a horse, can wrangle a horse, can probably break a horse better than me, and he's doing a great job this week. We really appreciate him out here.
Yeah, and we like that as far as safety precautions. The ambulance is here, the medical crew, the EMS, and so we've got that part of it, and we're going to go back to David Brink, the track announcer, for what's going on there.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Charleston, Illinois, to the Coles County Fair for the third day of harness racing. Thank you for that. We want to go ahead and give our race officials and our directors and fair board members a big shout out for putting on all the hard work they've done this week. We've had some fast miles, some fun races, and everyone's been working their butts off to put this on for everybody, so we really appreciate that. Today's races will feature pick a winner contest. Look for the grandstand for buckets and attendants walking through the grandstand with your hand if you win, and people will try to help you out with the pick a winner contest. We're going to go ahead and have a couple pre-race ceremonies. The first one, as people are still funneling, I want to go ahead and mention the tragic accident that happened at the Altamont Fair recently, and I think most of us who are in the horse community know that story, unfortunately, and what the outcome was. But for those of you who don't, who may be just joining us, recently at the Altamont Fair, there was an accident involving the starting gate and a spectator in the grandstand. That spectator was actually a young girl, a child of a fellow horseman, fellow driver, trainer, owner, and his wife, and she was transported to St. Louis, where she unfortunately lost that battle and lost her life recently a couple nights ago. So in honor of Harper Finn, we want to go ahead and just offer a moment of silence, bow our heads, remove our hats, and keep her in our prayers. Thank you. We're only about 4 minutes out from the first post, so I think I'll go ahead and, if everyone would get to their seats, we'll go ahead and rise to our feet, face the flag, remove your hats, and play our national anthem. First race due on the backstretch shortly. We'll go ahead and run through our changes, our scheduled program changes real quick for those of you who have joined us recently. Flip to the third race. We have a driver's change on the 5-horse, Hardhead's Little Chris. The driver of the 5 will be Wyatt Avenatti on the 5. Third race, Hardhead's Little Chris. Then skip all the way ahead to race 8. Scratch the 4, Feisty Ann. Scratch the 4 in race 8. Feisty Ann is a scratch. Race 9, scratch the 1, Rollin' Callie is a scratch. Scratch the 1 in race 9, Rolling Callie. And in today's last race, the 10th race, go ahead and scratch Stormado. Scratch the 4, race 10, Stormado. One more additional change coming in late. Race 6, the 2-horse Gotta Go Graham will be driven by Tom Buzz Graham Jr. Fields out for the first race. Let's meet our field for today's first race. Working towards the grandstand now, we have the field. The 1-horse is Char the Star. Char the Star is owned by the Flacco Family Farms, LLC of Alexis, Illinois. Bred by Leo Recicott from California, or Ontario, excuse me. Trained by Jill Brown, driven by Chris Brown. The 2, Don't Like School, is owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood, bred by Edwin Schwartz of Indiana, trained and driven by Jacob Radel. And the 3, Just Another Bag, is owned by Autumn Perryman of Chrisman, Illinois, bred by Marlon Yoder and Eloise Yoder, trained by David Avenatti, driven today by Wyatt Avenatti. These 3 move to the gate for a purse of $2,000 in today's top line 3-year-old and up trot. The race sponsor, Casey State Bank.
And proud of it. I'm a breeder, but he did raise it. David, are you on mic?
Yes, I am now.
You got the cookie?
Yes. There's one box. Do you have it somewhere handy?
He isn't here yet.
Okay, but it's coming today.
It's coming today.
If you get it to the booth, I'll put it with the rest. It'll be good.
That's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
We can do that.
All right. That's one in the basement.
Back with you on Harness Tube. David puts his headset on for a second. We'll turn him back up here as we get ready for this race. David, Any horses you want to talk about in this race?
I went ahead and handicapped these first few races. It's tough to pick off the 3-horse, Just Another Bag, coming off a win at Paris, at the home track last quarter, 29 flat. That horse hasn't paced trotted the last quarter slower than 30 seconds.
I'm going to slow you up here. Why don't you pull your other mic up there, and we'll talk to both audiences, and you can.
Because are we running out of time?
Are we out of time?
I don't know. There's only 3 horses. What I was worried about. Not a huge field. Let's do it, I guess.
Okay. You can do it real quick.
You can ask me again.
So, David, have you handicapped this race?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and handicap the first real quick. It's hard to overlook that 3-horse, Just Another Bag, coming off of a win at Paris. Hasn't trotted the last quarter slower than 30 seconds in the last few starts. I would look for that horse to grab the front end probably and control this race. I think for the 2, I went ahead and went to the 1, Char the Star. Local connections, home track, you got to hope that they can get over the surface pretty well. And then the only horse left, the 2-horse, is who I picked third. Field moves behind the gate on the backstretch for today's first race. The top line, 3 old and up trot, race sponsor, Casey State Bank. Just Another Bag, a winner 2 times this year, 2 times last year, 16 lifetime wins. Char the Star has a winner this year. Don't Like School, looking for the first lifetime win. From the inside out, it's Char the Star, Chris Brown. Don't Like School, Jacob Bradle. Just Another Bag, Wyatt Avenatti. The gate straights for home, and here they come. And they're off and trotting on the outside. It's Just Another Bag, and Wyatt Avenatti moving quickly to the lead for the first time into the first turn, and it's Wyatt Avenatti. Just Another Bag grabs that front end comfortably. Sitting second now is Don't Like School and Jacob Bradle. Back there third, a few lengths, is Char the Star and Chris Brown. Back on top, we still have Just Another Bag and Wyatt Avenatti controlling this field, moving them towards that quarter-mile marker. On top by 10 lengths or so comfortably. Jacob Bradle pretty chilly in the seat there. He has second place locked up, comfortable. He's cruising along second. Back there third, still Char the Star, closing that gap, though. And on top, it's still just 28-4 to the quarter. Huge opening quarter. So we're going to see a big mile here today, folks. Just Another Bag and Wyatt Avenatti aren't taking any prisoners. They're moving on down the track, coming out of that second turn for the first time. It's all Just Another Bag on top by about 15, 20 lengths now as they move toward the grandstand for the first time. Still racing second, Don't Like School and Jacob Bradle. And back there third is Char the Star and local Chris Brown. 58 flat to the half, 58 flat. And it's still Just Another Bag on top for Wyatt Avenatti, comfortable on this field, opening that distance now by probably 20, 25 lengths. Opening up that, sitting back there second still is Don't Like School and Jacob Bradle. Off stride maybe third, looks like Chris Brown and Char the Star. But we still have on top Just Another Bag and Wyatt Avenatti cruising up the backstretch towards the 3/4 mile marker, and he hits that pole in the time of 1:27.4. Wyatt's looking for a mark here on this horse. He opens him up in that last turn, asks him to trot out a little bit. We hit that 3/4 in 1:27.4, and Wyatt Avenatti has Just Another Bag for trainer David Avenatti, trotting home, stretching out for this colt here, gelding here, and Wyatt sitting up, tapping him up, saying, "Come on, big guy, let's get a mark." It's all going to be Just Another Bag, and Wyatt Avenatti for his father, David Avenatti, will take the first top line, 3 old and up trot. Second, we'll go to Don't Like School, and then at the back of the pack, Char the Star. Time for the mile, 1:59 flat. 1:59 flat.
All right, back with you on Harness Tube as we have final or unofficial results here. The 1 horse finishes third, the 2 finishes second, and Just Another Just Another Bag finishes first. And at times of 28.4, 58 flat, 127.4, and 159. And I'm sure David will give those to you when he comes back on the air as the track announcer for today's race. As we've got a sparse crowd today, kind of warm. And the family making its way up on the left-hand side over here for the presentation of the blanket.
And your winner moves back to the grandstand. Just Another Bag. And the family Avenatti moves from the barn area over to the winner's circle to collect their trophy. Just Another Bag is a 6-year-old gelding by Pine Credit by the Dakota Spur mare K Express. It was bred by Marlon Yoder and Eloise Yoder of Indiana. This gelding is owned by Autumn Perryman, there in the winner's circle. Trained by David Avenatti and driven today by Wyatt Avenatti. Let's give a big hand to Just Another Bag, the winner of today's first. Presenting that Casey State Bank trophy to the winners. I'll go ahead and give you your rundown for today's first race. The 1, Char the Star, finished third. The 2, Don't Like School, was second. The 3, Just Another Bag, was your winner. Fractions for the mile were 28 and 4 to the quarter. The half was in 58 flat. 3/4 in 127 and 4. Your time for the mile, 159 flat. Top down, 3, 2, 1. 28 and 4, 58 flat, 127 4. Time for the mile, 159. Those are official results, folks. Race 1 is official. Moving on to the second race, we have
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
Everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we get ready for race number 2. And David Brink throwing his headset on for a moment. And can we take a quick handicap look at this race?
Yeah, let me get my mic on. I'll go ahead and give the grandstand a handicap.
Yeah,
too.
there we go.
looking ahead at today's second race. For my handicapping picks, your announcer went to the 3-horse on top. Fox Valley B Gump is, again, off a nice win in Urbana. Made $88,000, $89,000. 31 wins lifetime. That horse is tough to beat on these county fair miles, so I got to put Fox Valley Beag up on top. For the 2, I'm going to Candy's Fortune. Candy's Fortune is kind of a fun little horse to follow for Brian and Candy Herzog. They're great people. They've helped us do this broadcast thing on Facebook Live. They're breeding horses. They're getting in the game really deep, and they're having a blast with this filly, Candy's Fortune. And she's so close, if you look at the program, to $100,000 in lifetime earnings, only $26 short. I'm just going to put her in my exacta. For the 4 horse, I'm going to Mr. Nut and Nice out of the barn of Roshan Trigg. This horse just has some last quarter in the last start that just blew me away. 26 flat. Had to use him. I figure in a small field he's going to be close. Hopefully pick up the pieces and get there. So I got it 3, 2, 4 in today's second race.
I need to re-handicap. I need to re-handicap.
As we take a look at this next race, as we have it coming up, 4 horses in this race. David, you picked what? 3, 2, 4?
3, 2, 4, yeah.
3, 2, 4. Okay, well, I'm going the opposite. I'm going 2, 3, 4.
Well, I'm telling you, the judge behind me just told me that the 4 horse put in a line that's not in your program recently at Lexington, Kentucky, on the Red Mile track, one of the fastest tracks in the world, 151 and 4 or something. He said. Anyway, fast enough to probably pique my interest if I knew that was in there.
The one you got the oak, yeah.
Mr. Nut and Nice, that's a nice mile. 51, that track is clay and lightning fast. But if you can go that fast and come up here and go half that fast, you'll be close.
Absolutely.
But you pick who you want. Don't let me talk you out of it.
And the other one, you look down there at his race at Oak Grove back on 626, finished first by a head. 153.1.
It's a big mile.
I mean, that is a huge mile. So, I'm kind of being swayed here, although I followed Randy's advice yesterday and and I lost.
Throwing the official under the bus.
I do.
Hey, you got to blame somebody in this game, right?
This is a great part about harness racing, though, David, is that the fact that picking them, and you can say this on air, too, if you want to, let's talk to the people in stands and say, not only are you picking there, are you picking with the people around you? You can do this at home.
Oh, yeah.
And watch us at home. That'll be a good promo for us.
If you came with a group of people or you're sitting by a group of people, make it a competition. Keep points. Here at the Coles County Fair, I don't have it in front of me right now, but they have a trainers award. So for all the trainers that come here to compete and put their horses in the box, they get a point system awarded to them. So a win, I think, is 5, a second place is 3, and a third place is 1. And they accumulate those points all week long over the 3 days. And the trainer with the most points at the end of the week, at the end of the day, will have a nice $250 bill in there, $250 in cash in their pocket.
And I see Leanne didn't even give you the sheet today. She just kept the sheet today to keep for you.
I'm a little more prepared today. I probably could have worked it a little better. Yesterday was running up and down and all around, but don't give it to me. Why did you say anything, Steve? They're listening to us.
Now, look
They're
at
listening to us.
She proudly gives
And now I have the updated trainer standings.
And so you have
3. I only see 2 there. Oh, Jill, 2. Okay, cool.
So she's explaining that to David now that I've given him more work for the day. That's how I do everything I can to help out as much as I possibly can.
Okay.
And so we're just excited about being here.
Remind me after the 5th, just to be sure, because that'll be Kevin for sure.
All right. So I got you more work.
I'm back. But I'm going to go live on this one, or go on the
Okay, yeah,
so
that'd be great.
Real fast.
Leanne Shin just went ahead and gave me the trainer standings for today's Coles County Trainer $250 award. On top of the trainer standings, we have Kevin Miller with 35 points. Roshan Trigg is sitting in second with 23, and Jill Brown, the local trainees, has 19. And what I was just told is that only those 3 are still in contention based on starts coming up and available horses. So let's go ahead and jump to the next race. And let's meet the field for today's second race. The top line 3-year-old and up pace for a purse of $1,000. Division 1, the Coles County Democrats sponsor. The 1 is It's Iris's Birthday, owned by Harold Gene Finn Jr. of Newton, Jacqueline and Kinley Finn of Newton, bred by Kenneth Slabach of Indiana, trained and driven by Harold Finn Jr. The 2 is Candy's Fortune, owned by Brian and Candy Herzog of Beecher City, Illinois, bred by Flacco Family Farms, LLC, trained by Freddie Patton Jr., driven today by Freddie Patton Jr. The 3, Fox Valley B. Gump, is owned and trained by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Illinois, bred by Fox Valley Standardbreds, and driven today by Wyatt Avenetti. The 4-horse Mr. Nuttin' Nice is owned by Charles Hurst of Houston, Texas, bred by Chester Miller of Ohio, trained by Roshan Trigg, driven today by Jamal Denson. Those 4 horses due to gate shortly.
Back with you as we get ready, as the horses get ready here. And I think I have got, well, I need to get the right picture up here, David, as we get ready to go here for race 2 on the block for you. And David picked 3-2-4, and I went to, or 3-2-4, I went to 3-4. And note here that he made that the Mr. Nut Nice has done a race that's not listed here. At like a 151 something down in Kentucky. And so, then it's had another one.
Steve.
Okay.
Just give you a heads up.
All right.
Field of 4 Pacers move in behind starter Mitch Titus for today's second race. The 3-year-old and up pace, first division, top line for a purse of $1,000. From the inside out is It's Iris's Birthday and Harold Finn Jr., Candy's Fortune and Freddie Patton Jr., Fox Valley B. Gump and Wyatt Avenetti, and Mr. Nuttin' Nice and Jamal Denson. Gate turns for home. And here they come. And they're off and pacing, and on the outside it's Mr. Nuttin' Nice and Jamal Denson, but between horses, Fox Valley B. Gump and Wyatt Avenetti grabs the lead from Mr. Nuttin' Nice and Jamal Denson. They move out of that first turn for the first time, and it's Fox Valley B. Gump on the inside. On the outside, Mr. Nuttin' Nice sitting back there third is Candy's Fortune and Freddie Patton Jr. At the back of the pack is It's Iris's Birthday. They move towards a quarter-mile marker, and on top, it's still all Fox Valley B. Gump by a length and a half. Sitting second, Mr. Nuttin' Nice by a length and 3/4. 27 4/5 of a second for the opening quarter. 27 4 for the opening panel. And Wyatt Avenetti has that colt on top, commanding this field, moving out of the second turn to the home stretch for the first time. It's Fox Valley B. Gump on top by about a length and a half. Still second, Mr. Nuttin' Nice. The field hasn't changed. Back there third is Candy's Fortune by a couple lengths. And our trailer at the early marker is It's Iris's Birthday. They move past the half-mile marker. Fox Valley B. Gump still on top. He hits that pole. 56-3 for the half. 56-3. Fox Valley B. Gump moves through that third turn now up to the back stretch, past the barn area, and Mr. Nuttin' Nice stalks leader closely as he can. Back there third is Candy's Fortune and Freddie Patton Jr. The field moves towards the 3/4 mile marker. Wyatt Avenetti points that colt down the backstretch towards that last turn, hits that wheel disc, and asks this colt to open up and stretch out and grab this win for him. They hit the 3/4 mile marker on top still, Fox Valley B. Gump. He hits the pole in 1:26-2. 1:26-2 to the 3/4 mile marker. And pulled to the outside is Mr. Nuttin' Nice. Jamal Denson asked this horse to come on and pace for me. Let's make this a horse race, boys. They're turning for home. On the inside, Fox Valley B. Gump. On the outside, Mr. Nuttin' Nice. Fox Valley B. Gump on the inside. Mr. Nuttin' Nice going to work. Wyatt Avenetti gives him the right hand on the outside. Jamal Denson asking this horse to move on. On the outside, it's going to be Mr. Nuttin' Nice by a long head, a long neck. On the inside, second was Fox Valley B. Gump. Third was Candy's Fortune. At the back of the pack, finishing fourth, It's Iris's Birthday. Time for the mile, 1:56 1/5 of a second.
Well, David, if I'm going to give Randy grief, I have to say he got the horse right that time.
Well, he had the inside knowledge. It's not in the program. I should have given it to the crowd, but I got lazy. But, yeah, that was a huge mile at Lexington, and that prepped this horse for a good mile. You know, Jamal did the right thing. Let White have the front end. You know, let him do his thing. And when you turn for home, just ask your horse, see if you have a little bit more than he does. And he sure did today. He got there up by a long neck.
Absolutely. And so the unofficial results will be up on the screen here in a second with your times. And, again, we like to know what's going on and trying out some new things. I'm trying out a new time format, David.
Good, I'll take it.
Looks a little more accurate.
More looking. Oh, yeah. Hey, that works for me. That works for me.
And so the winner coming up here, Fox Valley.
Nope, Mr. Nice.
Mr. Nice.
Oh, there he is. He came around the track.
Mr. Nut Nice.
Mr. Nut Nice moves back to the winner's circle for driver Jamal Denson today's second race. The top line, 3-year-old and up at pace, Division I, Coles County Democrats blanket. Mr. Nut Nice is a 4-year-old horse by Racing Hill by Baya Hanover out of Western Ideal. This horse was bred by Chester Miller of Ohio, owned by Charles Hurst in Houston, Texas, trained by Roshan Trigg, driven today very capably by young Jamal Denson. Mr. Nut Nice. Results for today's second race. The 1, It's Iris's Birthday, was 4th. The 2, Candy's Fortune, was 3rd. The 3, Fox Valley B Gump, was 2nd. And the 4, Mr. Nut Nice, was your winner. Your fractions 27 and 4, half and 56 and 3, 3/4 127 and 4. Time for the mile 156 and 1/5 of a second.
Is that official?
Today's second race is official. Top down 4-3, 2-1, 27 and 4, 56 and 3, 127 and 2, and 156 and 1/5 of a second. Today's
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Come join us for the 25th Annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Back with you on Harness Tube, Steve Surratt, David Brink, and that was a good race there, David. A good, solid race. Good,
nice
solid
mile,
finish.
56 and 1. Big.
Yeah, and what's the track record here?
I don't have the program in front of me. That's a great question.
Here's your program right here, isn't it?
No, well, 153 and 4 is what I'm told.
150.
I don't know. Oh, look at that. Our track officials are right. If you look in the back of the program here, our track, all-age track record, 153 and 4/5 of a second. Lily's Real Boy. Driver Kyle Wilfong, a top driver over in Indiana at Hoosier Park. He was, I think, the reigning champion up at Hawthorne from last year. Set the record here back in 2000.
And he's been down to Brown County to race. I can remember that.
He came with his dad, and they brought. Yeah, Kyle's been there. He's this year we're getting a couple more, but yeah, we can bring some good drivers through our hometown. It's kind of a nice. I think this year I saw Casey Leonard is coming to the downstate, and Travis Seekman, Juan Franco. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but anywho.
Every time you say Juan Franco, I keep thinking of the baseball player Juan Franco. Or no, yeah, Juan Franco, the baseball player.
When I say Juan Franco, all I can think of is the coolest nickname in the sport, the Guatemalan gas pedal.
There you go. And so we get ready for this next race here as we take a look at the third race out there on the ticket. I'll get that up for you in just a moment here as I'm trying to do some updates.
Handicap this thing?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me get to it.
I got you, don't worry.
Okay. And
looking forward to today's third race. Your track announcers, top 3 picks for today's third race. I went to the 3, heavy pressure for my top choice. Again, off a win. When these horses are hot, when they're tight, when they're right, they do things the way they're supposed to. This horse won at Lincoln, 156-1, huge last quarter, 27-2. I think that horse is going to be tough to beat again. Jamal was hot last race. Probably going to have a nice horse this race and knows how to drive this track after seeing it once today. I look for that horse to be on top. For the 2, I went to the local cheering section, Clark Fairley and Dash Around. This horse is very capable in and of himself. Got 14 wins lifetime, mark of 53-3 at Springfield. For my 3 horse, again, I like these locals. I like cheering for the locals. So I went to the 4, Mock Diesel, for the Brown Barn and Jill Brown driving this thing. So my choice for today's third race, 3-2-4.
3-2-4 with that. And David, one of the things I'll ask you to ask the crowd out there, Liz,
some of mic off.
Well, and we can turn
shuffling around. No, you're good.
Turn the mic back on. Lisa brought up some good points. How many new harness racers do we have here today for the first time seeing their first harness race? Do we have any newbies out there? Have them wave their hands.
I'm not gonna say it on the grandstand, but I'm seeing a lot of gray hair. I'm thinking this folks have seen a lot of horse races down in Coles County.
I see some kids up there though. I got a young man sitting about the 4th row up there, but I think that may be a relative of one of the drivers. I don't know, but do we have anybody? And you could be 80 years old and seeing your first race.
I understand, but we are in horse country, and I know you guys haven't got that concept, but these southeast Illinoisans, I mean, you see breeding farms. You see guys who have a stud and a couple mares in their back lot, and they're breeding standard breds. These people are wild down here. They love horse racing.
Well, they do. They love it down here, and great people down here. The one thing that we have loved going to the harness races is meeting the different people from the different areas and kind of getting a feel of what's going on. The tracks are different. The areas are different. The people are different. Eclectic people.
I mean, you have all different backgrounds coming together for the sport that they love and these animals that they love. And we are just all, passionate and do everything we can. But I heard that we're all out, so you might just lose me to the mic. Oh. We're 1 out. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, Steve.
All right.
I have one headphone off, so I can kind of hear what they're saying, but I kind of can't, and I'm going to make assumptions today and probably get them wrong, but we'll do.
Yeah, I'm looking at the horses you pick and the horses I think I ought to pick because I try to pick different than you pick.
It's hard when you go second, isn't it?
It is. It's harder when you go second. And
but you know what? You can pick the same 2 and mix up the order, or you just throw in one different one in the mix, and it's still a different trifecta.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna agree with you. No, I tell you what, I'm not going to agree. I'm gonna go with Wine Evanity in a 5-horse. To win this thing.
You're going to say the driver's change going to help him out a little bit, huh?
Driver's change going to help there. Then I'll do the 3 second, and I'm going to go Skip Jive 3rd.
All right.
Yeah, that horse is,
it won 2 back at Oak Grove. You're right.
Yeah, it's one of those horses. I'm going to guess. Depends on which horse shows up today.
And here's your field parading for today's third race. The top line, 3-year-old and up, Colton Gelding Pace, second division for a purse of $1,000, the Dale Richardson Memorial. The 1 is Skip Jive, owned by Betty Landman of Charleston, Illinois, bred by W Springtime Racing Stable and Shannon Brott of New York, trained by Stan Swisher, driven today by Harold Finn Jr. The 2 is Dash Around, owned by Clark Fairley of Lerna, M.K. Fairley of Charleston, and Elizabeth Fairley of Lerna, bred by Mary Lee Jeffers and Adele Jeffers Everett of Illinois, trained by Clark Fairley, driven today by Clark Fairley. The 3 is Heavy Pressure, owned by Latoya Hewlett of Clinton, Mississippi. Bred by Rita Williams, Rod Williams. Trained by Roshan Trigg, driven today by Jamal Denson. The 4 is Mock Diesel, owned by Flacco Family Farms, LLC of Alexis, Illinois. Bred by Greg McNair of Ontario. Trained by Jill Brown in the bike. And the 5 is Hardhead's Little Chris. This horse is owned by Larry Plank of Tuscola. Bred by Lois Swan and Julie Swan of Maryland. Trained by Larry Plank. Driven today by Wyatt Abinetti. These 5 pacers are due at the back stretch on the car shortly. We have a driver's change on the 3. Barry Bell will be on the 3, Heavy Pressure.
I should watch or do?
All right, folks, we got a change here. I'm going to try to get that on the card for you. The 3, Barry Bell on Heavy Pressure. Barry Bell, if I could spell Barry correctly. And so with
There's
that,
Barry. I saw Barry. I thought maybe he's warming up a horse. I didn't know if he was just getting one ready. I don't know. I guess it was his bike though. So I guess there's. So is that Jamaica though on his camera? They're gonna throw a different bike. Different? No, there's no helmet. Okay. I'm mumbling. I'm just watching the camera. I'm watching the feed.
yeah, lots of things going on. You're double dutying it today and doing a good job. We're trying to blend our on-air YouTube program with the grandstands. One of the things we talked about, if David's going to announce much next year, is we need to do a direct feed to the grandstands.
You know, if you want to do it this way, then I'm going to have to give you this mic. We'll just never turn it off, and we'll just keep the whole thing going back and forth past it.
We could go back and forth today. Yeah, but you're about ready to get to your track work as they're approaching the gate, and I'll turn it back over to David Brink.
Field of 5 pacers moves towards Mitch Titus in the starting gate in the backstretch. Driver's change on the 3, Heavy Pressure is Barry Bell. Barry Bell on the 3, Heavy Pressure for Roshan Trigg. Today's 3rd race, your starters from the inside out are Skip Jive and Harold Finn Jr., Dash Around and Clark Fairley, Heavy Pressure and Barry Bell, Mock Diesel and Jill Brown. On the far outside wing, Hardhead's Little Chris and Wyatt Abinetti. Gate turns for home. And here they come. What a nice start for these pacers. Now on the inside, it's all Skip Jive and Harold Finn grabbing the early lead on the outside. Mock Diesel and Jill Brown going to test that one and move into the first turn. But still on top, it's going to be Skip Jive and Harold Finn Jr. grabbing their second now. It is Mock Diesel and Jill Brown back there. Third is Dash Around and Clark Fairley. Racing fourth now as we move up the backstretch is Heavy Pressure and Barry Bell. Racing fifth in the back of the pack is Hardhead's Little Chris and Wyatt Abinetti. On top still a Skip Jive as Harold Finn Jr. takes that field past the quarter-mile marker in 27 3/5 of a second. They move past that quarter-mile marker into the second turn. Harold Finn has this field well in hand with that opening quarter. Open on up top by about 4 or 5 lengths. Back there second is Mock Diesel and Jill Brown. On the outside now is Clark Fairley now in Dash Around looking for a little better footing maybe. But on top we're still going to have all Skip Jive as Harold Finn Jr. grabs this horse past the half-mile marker. Checks over his shoulder, but Mock Diesel's racing back there second. Racing third still is Dash Around. Was it 56? 56 and 2 to the half, 56 and 2. And it's still Skip Jive on top by a handful of lengths as they move out of the third turn. Racing back there second is Mock Diesel. Jill Brown still racing third is Clark Fairley. A handful of lengths back to Heavy Pressure and Barry Bell, and at the back of the pack is Hardhead's Little Chris. Moving towards the 3/4 mile marker, it's Harold Finn has that Skip Jive pointed into the last turn. 1:25 flat for the 3/4 as he's going to go a big mile now. He whips that horse up, asks him to pace on, says, let's go. We're going to get a mark today, boys. It's all Skip Jive on top by about 6-7 lengths now. They're turning for home. On the outside is Clark Fairley now taking over for second. Clark goes to that left-hand whip. He's going to make a race out of this, folks. On the inside, Skip Jive. On the outside, Dash Around. On the inside, Skip Jive tiring. On the outside, Dash Around going to get up for the win. Dash Around, and Clark Fairley grabs the win today. Harold Finn Jr. was second with Skip Jive. On the outside was a big third, and Barry Bell was Heavy Pressure, and Mock Diesel finished fourth. And the back was Hardhead's Little Chris.
Bucky did it.
1:56 and 1/5 of a second. 1:56 and 1.
All right. Finish up to that race, and a good race out there is in the last, just down the last 100 feet. David?
I tell you what, Skip Jive tired slowly on me. I thought that horse was a little stronger turning out of that last turn, and Clark came out of nowhere. He went to that left-hand whip, and it looked like all of a sudden that horse chewed up 6 lengths on the leader. So what a big win for Clark Fairley and Dash Around.
And another sub-2 race today as far as the racing's
Ladies
concerned.
and gentlemen, you want a testament to the track crew. We've had some huge miles. 2 3-year-old colt trotters, gelding trotters trotting 58 and change. We've had, 3 or 4 56 miles. Just wild racing down here in the Coles County Fairs.
Absolutely. As they get the track, they've done a great job on this track. I was complaining a little bit about the dust, but as far as the drivers are concerned, this is a good track.
The track has a great surface. That limestone on top just makes it dusty. It pulls the moisture up through the ground and evaporates out, but it gives us all weather. But the surface, there's depth to it. This track is live, and you put a little water and a little cushion on it, and it'll rock.
And again, looking at this race, it was just a good, awesome race. I want to throw out there, D. Russell sent me a message on YouTube here, and he correctly picked the horse correctly.
Oh, the last race?
In race 2.
Nice.
Mr. Nut Nice out there. So nice pick out there by Mr. Russell on that. So
I'm not positive, but I want to say I think I know who that is, and I think he's from Mississippi. So if I think he might have known that, hey, this horse is going to be coming in real good.
And so a nice pick out there. We appreciate you watching, and we appreciate the interaction. We love that. Again, you can do it 2 ways. You can send it on the YouTube. You can chat with us there, and we'll see the messages up on board. As far as the messages are concerned, we try to get to those. David can look at his phone on occasion at harnesstube@gmail.com, but text me at 217-740-9234. Some people said you're giving out your number.
Steve, all right?
Yep.
Moving back to the winner's circle for today's third race, Dash Around and Clark Fairley. The Fairley family and the Dale Richardson Memorial representatives outside trackside for the presentation of this trophy in today's third race. Dash Around is an 8-year-old gelding by Party at Arch Place out of the Cam's Card Shark mare Armbro Dasher. This gelding was bred by Mary Lee Jeffers and Adele Jeffers Effort of Flat Rock, Illinois. Owned by Clark Fairley of Lerna, M.K. Fairley of Charleston, and Elizabeth Fairley of Lerna. The whole Fairley family affair. Dash Around, the winner of today's third race. Get into the winner's circle if he wants to, maybe. I tell you what, folks, no one deserves a win more than Clark Fairley at his home track. This guy works so hard for horse racing in Illinois and at Coles County Fair, constantly working, and about as honest as they come. Clark Fairley is one of my favorite people in the world. Big congratulations to the winner of today's third race, Dash Around, and Clark Fairley. Results from today's third race. From the top down, Skip Jive was second. Dash Around was your winner. Heavy Pressure was third. Mock Diesel was fourth. Hardhead's Little Chris finished fifth. Your fractions 27 and 3. The half 56 and 2. 3/4 125 flat. Time for the mile, 1:56 and 1/5 of a second. Top down checks, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. Judge, are we official?
You are.
And race 3 is official. Looking forward to today's 4th race.
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
Everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
David, as we get ready to go here, I want to share with people we just got a couple of racing dates left for you. Saturday and Sunday in Brown County, Illinois. And what is the special races there? Sunday in particular, the purses are huge, David.
The Brown County Fair has a couple nice stakes. On Saturday, we're featuring the Midwestern Illinois Racing Association Colt Stakes for 2- and 3-year-olds. Excuse me. And on Sunday, we're having the Downstate Classic for 2-year-olds. You're going to see, arguably, the best of the best 2-year-olds in the state at the Mount Sterling Oval coming up here in the next couple days. Going for purses of what was it, $8, $12, $10, $14,000. I mean, it's up there.
Hey, and the other thing you talked about, we've got some top-notch drivers coming in just for that event.
And I'm glad you said that because I looked in the chat just now and saw Jermaine Brown said, "Is Cordarius driving today?" I don't see Cordarius over in the barn area, but I am ecstatic to see Cordarius in the card at Mount Sterling. I was trying to campaign and lobby to have him over to our home track. I want to see some big miles, some big drives. I think he's the one I forgot earlier when I was listing them all off. We're going to have Travis and Juan and Casey and Cordarius all coming to the Brown County Fair. So you're going to see some hopefully really hot miles, really hot laps, and some exciting races.
All right. As we get ready for race 4, we're moving right along here, David. We're staying within our 15-minute, I figure 15 minutes a race.
And we can't blame Kurt for pushing them along today. This is all us.
Hey, absolutely. Some short fields here, which is easier
helps.
when you got 5, 6, 7 horses in a field.
Well, the biggest thing is the horseman. When you have big fields, you're waiting on 7 different trainers to get their horse timed right out to the barn. When it's 3 or 4, we only have a handful of trainers. They're all coordinating together and getting out there at the same time.
Yeah, and it makes a difference, the trainers and drivers and the order that they're getting ready. And until you come to a track, you do not see all of the intricate stuff that goes on behind the scenes. These horses just don't show up on the track. There's not 50,000 carts out there. It may be that this particular barn only has a couple of carts, and they're trying to shuffle them around. They're trying to get horses warmed up. There's just a lot that goes on. You'll say, what are some of the horses on the track? They're driving a different cart, or the look is different. Well, they're out warming that horse up.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you notice a horse on the track without a number on its back, it's probably just warming up. It's going to race later, comes out in the track, jogs around a little bit, stretches the legs out, and then you turn them the right way of the track and kind of brush them. Ask them to really kind of get that heart rate up, so you can then kind of jog them back to the barn and get the heart rate kind of. It's all about conditioning, right? They're athletes just like NFL's running back. We got to treat them the same way and take care of them and get them exercise at the right time and keep them warm, keep the muscles loose, the fibers loose so they can perform. So yeah, you're seeing horses out there maybe going the wrong way of the track. The driver doesn't have colors on or something like that. It's probably just a warm-up, probably just out there with a jog cart, just getting the horse ready to race later on.
Well, you want to talk about this a little bit. You brought athletes into play and how much the teams and the coaches save because you got a multi-million-dollar athlete or you've got a person that is your guy,
or whatever,
the cornerstone. It could be an offensive lineman, and you protect those, and you make sure they get their workouts. You make sure they get to medical and do those things. And understand, these horses probably not worth a professional athlete, but to the horsemen in where they're at financially, they're $1 million horse,
Well,
and they're taking care of these horses
yes,
like $1
the
million
horsemen
horses.
take care of these people don't. The horse may only be worth, we'll say, $10,000-$20,000, but what that represents to the horseman is income. That is that horseman's entire year salary to have. The stable is important to them. They have to keep those things healthy. They have to keep them happy. You don't think about the psychology of horse racing, but these horses, whenever you're boxed in a stall all day, these horses kind of get some problems that with psychology. And a lot of people want to give them some time outside in green grass and sunlight, let them be horses, and you really have to kind of help take care of all parts of the animal.
All right, and we'll let you take care of your other duties over there. We'll bring you up for that.
Freddie Patton on the one.
Freddie Patton is on the one.
Fields out for today's fourth race. And let's meet our starters. The one is Exactly a Lady, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood, Illinois, bred by Eli Yoder of Delaware, trained by Jacob Radel, driven today by Freddie Patton Jr. The two is Our Sweet Baby Ray, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood, bred by Jacob Radel of Illinois, trained by Jacob Radel, driven today by Jacob Radel. The three Yoder's Gracies, owned by David Gingrich of Chariton, Iowa, bred by David Yoder of Illinois, trained by Jill Brown, driven by Chris Brown. These three trotters, top-line trotters, and the Elva Kaufman Horseshoe Memorial are sponsors for a purse of $2,000 due to the gate shortly.
You going to do your handicapping? Going to do your handicapping?
I need to make this my notes first.
Okay.
Yeah, we can start it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep you on track over there.
No, I
keep
appreciate
everything flowing because it's working.
Let's go. I can do it. Ready if you are, sir.
All right. What's your handicapping today, David, for these horses? For this race, race 4.
Looking at today's fourth race, your announcer's handicapping picks for the top line event. Went to the 3 Yoder's Gracie for my top choice. This horse is 3 out of the last 4 starts. Only missed QB and getting a third place finish at Fairfield. I would look for this horse to probably show nothing but ones on the chart for this mile again and grab the track and not look back. Went to the 2 Sweet Baby Ray for my second choice. Something about a trainer driving his horse gives me some confidence on a trotter on maybe a track that might be difficult. So I went with Jacob on this one. Finish up my top 3, of course, and it would be Exact Lady at the back of the pack. Too many X's on the card for me to really get kind of interested. I don't like seeing the brakes as much on babies because it's hard to kind of get over that. So new driver brakes. I'm going to pick the 2 over the 1 and go 3, 2, 1.
All right, and folks, for you at home, my pick is, let's see, 3, 2, 1. And David, that was your picks also, so we're just alike on that. I can't make any ground up in
we'll do what we can.
Next year, we're going to handicap them. We're going to keep our scorebook, but they're coming to it, and we'll let you have it.
These 3 2-year-old trotters in the top line stake. The Elva Kaufman Horseshoeing sponsored race. From the inside, Exacta Lady. From the 2-hole, Our Sweet Baby Ray. On the outside, Yoder's Gracie. Here they come. And a pretty quiet start for today's 4th race, as Yoder's Gracie is the only horse to get out of the gate cleanly, grabbing the lead and going to the first turn for Chris Brown. This filly moves in that first turn for his conditioner's husband out there. Open now goes off stride. Now we have all 3 broke, and it's a wide open race, as it is Our Sweet Baby Ray catching that leader now and making this a horse race on the inside. Oh, goes off stride again. So on the lead, we still have Yoder's Gracie and Chris Brown racing back there. Second is Our Sweet Baby Ray and Jacob Radel. At the back of the pack is Exactly a Lady and Freddie Patton Jr. Chris Brown moves his horse now towards the quarter-mile marker. They reach that post. 39 4/5 of a second to the opening quarter. 39 4, and it's Yoder's Gracie moving this field into that second turn now. They're about halfway through that second turn. Racing back there, second is Our Sweet Baby Ray, and at the back of the pack, Exactly a Lady. Yoder's Gracie, this 2-year-old Guccio filly by the OU mare Nip O'Brandy, moving to the grandstand for the first time in the mile, comfortably for Chris Brown, moving past the half-mile marker. They hit the post. 1:15 and 4/5 of a second to the half mile. 1:15 and 4. And Exactly a Lady has overtaken stablemate R Sweet Baby Ray for second place. So back on top, it's Yoder's Gracie. Racing second now is Exactly a Lady. And at the back of the pack is R's Sweet Baby Ray. Chris Brown has this Guccio filly, owned by David Gingrich of Sheridan, Iowa, pointed towards that 3/4 mile marker for his wife, conditioner Jill Brown. And Yoder's Gracie approaches that 3/4 mile marker and moves towards that last turn for the last time. Hits the 3/4 in 1:50 and 1/5 of a second. 1:50 and 1. Yoder's Gracie in that last turn now. But we have a horse race, folks, that it looks like Exactly a Lady, and Freddie Patton Jr. has caught that leader and tipped to the outside. He's going to see if he can make this a race. But Chris Brown opens this horse up, stretches out. Oh, we're going to have a race, folks, on the outside. It's Exactly a Lady. Freddie Patton going to the whip, going to ask his horse to make this a race. On the inside, it's Yoder's Gracie going to hold on by about a length and a half. Second was Exactly a Lady. At the back of the pack is Our Sweet Baby Ray. Time for the mile.
2:23 and 2.
2:23 and 2. 2:23, 2/5 of a second.
All right, we've got good racing for you today, and when David, I'll pull your headset back up here for a moment before they get back here. And that was from top to bottom 2-3-1 or 2-3-1, so it'll be the 3-horse, the 1-horse, and the 2-horse. 3-1-2. We got the 3 right. We just didn't get the 1 and 2 right.
The Radel horses, man, switched us. But, our judges were talking, that horse, Exactly a Lady, if you throw out the first quarter, the first eighth, and just kind of pick up the last part of that mile, that horse really did kind of trot a nice little 3/8 or half or so. So that horse probably got overlooked by us a little bit.
Well, I don't think so. I wonder if they had the blinders on that horse before. Now, it didn't break as much its last time out. But it did the other times, and I'm wondering if they
equipment
added
changes can help. I'm telling you for sure.
And having it on so the horse can't be distracted by anything.
And back to the winner's circle. The winner of today's 4th race, the top line 2-year-old trot. Race sponsor, the Elva Kaufman Horseshoeing. Race purse, $2,000. Yoder's Gracie is a 2-year-old filly by Guccio, out of the OU mare, Nip O'Brandy. This filly is owned by David Gingrich of Sheridan, Iowa. Bred by David Yoder. Trained by Jill Brown there at the head of the horse and driven by her husband, Chris Brown. 4th win in 5 starts for this nice little filly. Results for today's 4th race are as follows. The 1, Exactly a Lady, finished 2nd. The 2, R's Sweet Baby Ray, was 3rd. The 3, Yoder's Gracie, was your race winner. Fractions for the mile, 39 and 4/5 of a second was your quarter. Time for the half, 1:15 and 4. 3/4, 1:50 and 1/5 of a second. Time for the mile, 2:23 and 2. Race 4, checks down, 2, 3, 1 on the bottom. Race 4 is official. Looking ahead to race 5, the top line 2-year-old pace, the J.R. Diepholz Memorial for a purse of $2,000. 5 filly pacers due out shortly.
Back with you as we get ready to go here. And I'm trying to give you maybe another view yet. And we'll pick out which the main screen is and get that to you. But we're going to pick out, see what we can do as far as having a little more information for you as the race goes on. And we can scale that down, or we can scale it up, I guess, according to what's going on. But we'll see what that looks like as we look at picture in a picture 2. Picture in a picture. Okay. Picture.
I
got a new picture up there for
I know
you.
you were messing with stuff. You're working hard over here. I was trying to cover it and let you mess with the computer, but you got it figured out. If you notice, we have a new way of kind of doing some things around here in Harness 2. We've been playing with some features and getting Steve's brain all cranking over here with these technology things and broadcasting gadgets, and he's having a ball. But he's found a new way to go about doing some of this stuff, and hopefully it cleans up the broadcast for everybody, makes his job a lot easier.
Yeah, we'd like to know a new format for the times. I think that's a lot cleaner as far as the viewers are concerned, that they can see what those are. But not that we're going to be NBC or anything, but we want to bring the best quality broadcast that we can bring to the to our viewers and listeners out there.
Yes, exactly. We want to always improve and get better, and try to find things that I know can be streamlined or can be presented better or clearer, for the public, because the idea is we're bringing it to you, right? We need to bring you everything. We need to bring it to you clearly so you understand and can really grasp into the excitement of the sport and the fun and the community of it all.
Absolutely. As we get ready for the next race here, David, let's take a look. We're moving right along. Race 5 has 5 horses in it, and
I don't see any outs. We got some time, I think.
Okay. Already done the winner's circle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was so
focused.
focused.
I was trying to cover for you, and I couldn't even get you to roll me up.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I'm teasing.
But we want to talk about our donors, our generous donors out there that have helped make this first year very, very, very successful and allowed us to actually do a few more fairs than we originally thought we could do. And that is because of the finances of our donors and our advertisers.
And the donors have stepped up and just said, "Hey, we appreciate this. Here's a check. This is how much we appreciate it." And it's opened my eyes to kind of how much these people kind of care and want to kind of follow us along. I heard we had the Lummises up there watching us religiously almost because they're enjoying the broadcast, right?
Yep. I want to say hi to Judy Wilson. She is
she's
from up at home.
Us for a long time, But these donors have been continuing to open their pockets and their hearts and help us out when they can. But as you know, the donorship is never done. This is the first year and getting the expenses knocked down. But we sat down this morning, Steve and I, and kind of ran through an equipment list. If we're doing this again next year, and I had to go out and buy stuff from a store, what do I have to get and what's it going to cost? So, it does cost something. The equipment is pro grade stuff that does cost a little bit. So we keep asking for any kind of help you have, to offset some of the costs. I'm getting a driver's change right now, so I'm looking at that. But yeah, if you have it in your heart to do something, that's great. We really appreciate it. It's helped kind of keep us moving along without having to fret about selling ads or tracking down fair boards and stuff like that.
And what's your driver change there?
Well, I'll give it to the crowd, and you won't have to worry about it.
Okay, that sounds great.
Drivers change in today's 5th race. The 4-horse, Decision Time. Make the driver Mike Rogers. Race 5, 4-horse, Decision Time. Make the driver Mike Rogers in the upcoming race.
So we bring David back up, and the thing's going on.
Here we go. We got Jermaine Brown chiming back in. He said, "I love you guys' channel. Keep it up. Amazing work." See, those kind of comments seem small, but it really keeps us going. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They get you right inside of your soul and really make you feel good.
And I know Ed Teefee might be out there watching. Ed, return a call later today to David as we with BC Hornet Sports.
We sent a question,
Yeah, we want to add some more to the pot for each race for the pick-a-winner.
Yeah, we had an idea to kind of sweeten the pot for the Brown County Fair, and Steve and Lisa have been very generous in their offer. So if Ed's listening, give us a shout. But how great to not only get another small business, a small family-owned business involved in the sport, but to get them wanting to contribute to the sport. You guys probably don't go in and buy a horse quite yet, but you're still finding ways to play and contribute and play along and get involved, and we really appreciate it. Are we out? Okay. We're good, Steve.
We're good to go.
I'll learn to ask the judge and just trust him from now on instead of looking myself.
Well, you can trust Randy back there. He's
that.
kind of disappointed that you didn't say he was one of the favorite people in harness racing.
I got to tell you, okay, here's the story. We went down to Martinsville for the first time, and this goes back. Clark's from over this way. It's a long way from home. He came to the Brown County Fair one time and was there, shipped a couple days. I think slept in his trailer, and it was quiet early in the morning. Didn't have a whole lot going on. I went over and hung out with him in his barn and just talked to him, and wealth of knowledge and happy to sit there and just talk to me like I was his best friend. Kind of became a big fan of his then. Now I'm serving on the IHHA board with him. I understand he's a great leader, a great representative. But we were at the Martinsville Fair earlier this year, and he was, after everyone was gone, was picking up trash from the horseman's barn. No one asked him, no one saw him. I just happened to look over and catch him doing that deed, and I thought, what, that guy is a quality guy. So big shout out to Clark Fairley.
And so,
I'm
David.
going live.
Okay.
Fields out for today's 5th race. Today's 5th race is the top line 2-year-old pace, the J.R.D. Pultz Memorial, for a purse of $2,000, a 1-mile pace. The 1 is ML's Party, owned by MM&D Racing of Charleston, Illinois, of Mike and Mitch Titus and Dennis, trained by Roshan Trigg, driven by Jamal Denson. The 2, Take Me Dancing, is owned by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Burke Hotsprung of Elburn, Brian Lohman of Broadlands, bred by Glenn Yoder of Indiana, trained by Kevin Miller, driven today by Rick Schrock. The 3, Trident Born, is owned by D&J Racing Stables of Terry, Mississippi, bred by Lowain Miller and Silver Linden Farms of Indiana, trained by Jamaica Patton in the bike. The 4 is Decision Time, owned by Kevin Miller of Arthur, Bert Hotsprung of Elburn, bred by Jeff Jones of Illinois, trained by Kevin Miller, driven tonight by Mike Rogers. The 5-horse Crimson Blue is owned by Virginia Kimbrough of Sturgis, Mississippi, bred by Mary Lee Jeffers and Adele Jeffers Everett of Flat Rock, Illinois, trained and driven by Tony Kimbrough. Driver's change on the 2. Make the driver on the 2, Take Me Dancing, Wyatt Avenatti.
And so that we got a driver change on the 2. Instead of Rick Schrock out there, it's going to be a Wyatt Avenatti. Wyatt Avenatti. And David, that didn't change my handicapping at all because you switched one favorite driver for another. In that Wyatt Avenatti is driving instead of Rick Schrock, and I've got my handicap out there.
I'll go for mine and go to the gate then.
Handicapping today's 5th race, your track announcer picked the 3 on top, Trident Born and Jamaica Patton for the win. This horse has got a couple nice finishes recently, second in the win. Went to the 2, Take Me Dancing for my second place horse. And on top, ML's Party for my 3rd. The field moved behind the gate. Starter Mitch Titus. Today's 5th race, the top line 2-year-old pace, the J.R.D. Pultz Memorial from the inside out. ML's Party, Jamal Denson, Take Me Dancing, and Wyatt Avenatti, Trident Born, and Jamaica Patton, Decision Time, Mike Rogers, and Crimson Blue, and Tony Kimbrough. Gate turns for home. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. A pretty clean start for these pacers now. The inside is going to be Take Me Dancing and Wyatt Avenatti grabbing the early lead. On the inside, it's Take Me Dancing and Wyatt Avenatti. On the outside, we have the 5-horse Crimson Blue and Tony Kimbrough racing 3rd. Now up the inside is Decision Time and Mike Rogers. On the top, as they move towards that quarter-mile mark up the backstretch, it's going to be Take Me Dancing and Wyatt Avenatti. Racing along 2nd, there is Decision Time, Mike Rogers. A few lengths back now to Crimson Blue and Tony Kimbrough. It's a long way back now to 4th, and Jamaica Patton, Trident Born races along 4th. Handful back to 5th. 34, 29 and 4 to the quarter. 29 and 4/5 of a second. Excuse me. 29 and 4/5 of a second. They move into that second turn now, and it's going to be Take Me Dancing and Wyatt Avenatti on top by a handful of lengths. Racing along second there is a stablemate Decision Time and Mike Rogers. Moving along third, Crimson Blue and Tony Kimbrough. They come past the grandstand now for the first time, laying back in his bike, asking this horse to take a little breather here now is Wyatt Avenatti and Take Me Dancing. 101 flat, 101 flat to the half. They're moving to that third turn now, and it's Wyatt Avenatti and Take Me Dancing. Racing along second is Decision Time. Racing third now is Crimson Blue. Back there fourth is Trident Born. At the back of the pack is still ML's Party. They move up the backstretch for the last time now, and on the outside we're going to have contention for the lead as it's going to be Decision Time, and Mike Rogers pulling on that leader and moving to the front now by a head, half length, full length, clears to the front, passes the 3/4 mile marker. They hit that pole and 131 and 3/5 of a second past the 3/4 mile marker. 131 and 3, and the field moves into the last turn for the last time, and on top it's going to be Decision Time, and Mike Rogers, stablemate Take Me Dancing, pulls again on that one, is going to race along there second. Up the inside third is Crimson Blue, but it's all going to be Decision Time, and Mike Rogers comfortably for winning this one by about 5/6 lengths. Second was Take Me Dancing. Third to Crimson Blue. Fourth is Trident Born. At the back of the pack, ML's Party. Time for the mile, 2:01, 2/5 of a second. 2:01 and 2.
One flat to the half. Okay.
31 and 3.
All right, as we have the finish there, it looks like unofficially Decision Time was the winner. The horse,
Second lifetime start.
yeah, and you know what? We got I got the 2 and 3 horse right. You got the number 2 horse right, and that was.
I didn't get a whole lot right today, did I?
Well, hey, you know that's the fun of it as we talk to people in the stands. It's not.
You're right. You're a newbie. You can outpick me. I've been doing this 35 years, my whole life. You know, it's horse racing. It's really is a crapshoot. You think you can pin them down, and next thing you know, something crazy happens. I love it, Steve. Looks good.
Okay, and absolutely love hearing from people out there. We'd love to hear from you as we get back and
picking back up.
Here comes your winner for today's 5th race. The 4, Decision Time. 2-year-old Bay filly by Rockin' Image out of Olivia Marie by Real Desire. This filly was bred by Jeff Jones. Trained by owner Kevin Miller. Kevin's partner Bert Hotsprung. Driven today in his second lifetime start to a win by Mike Rogers in today's top line 2-year-old pace, the J.R. Deepoltz Memorial. Let's give a big hand to Decision Time. Mike Rogers, 2-1 and 2. Results from today's 5th race. Top down, ML's Party finished 5th. Take Me Dancing was 2nd. Trident Born was 4th. Decision Time was your winner. And Crimson Blue was 3rd. Your quarter in 29 and 4. Half in 101 flat. 3/4 in 131 and 3. Time for the mile, 2:01, 2/5 of a second. Checks down from the top, 5:24.13.
another good race as we get to the halfway point. We'll start the second half of racing here in a moment. And then David Brink will be back on here in a moment with me.
I'm talking with the officials. We have some festivities coming up, I think.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, remember we have the trainer of the meet.
Okay, so did they lock it up already?
I mean, if you're following along at home, I'm sure you can do the math. I gave you it's 5 points for a win, 3 points for a second, 1 point for a third, and if you look at who's been winning the most races and racing the most horses, I think it's going to be a pretty easy assumption that it's locked up. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, 6th race coming up for you here today. While they get ready for those festivities, we'll take a station break. We'll be back after these messages.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
As we come back to you today on Harness Tube, want to talk to you about From the Backstretch. David, tell them about that a little bit.
Yeah, From the Backstretch is our way of kind of interacting with our fans, and it's our favorite time of this whole thing. We get to shout out somebody in the chat, or in an email or a text message. So reach out to us, give us a shout, drop us a favorite driver, a story, something that you're rooting for, thinking about, remembering. Whatever your mouth's watering over, if you've got a corn dog on your mind or something, we'd love to talk about it. We'd love to talk with you. We'd love to kind of have the interaction. So go ahead and shoot us an email at harnesstube@gmail.com, or you can send a text message to me or a Facebook message to the Harness Tube page. I think Steve was giving out.
Or
his
you can
phone
go
number,
to YouTube. You can YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube chats now.
The YouTube chat is up. That's used. That's the
great.
easiest because
Let's
I've
go
got
through
it
that.
up front. And then my phone number 217-740-9234. That's
if you are a
217
subscriber,
740-9234.
I thought you were going through it once, but
I'm a radio guy. Guess why? I go through it twice.
I'm
on
a rookie,
radio.
I know. But you're right. It's what are we talking about? Why it turned against the fence?
Backstretch.
Once again, I can't stay. I have ADD with these horses. Something goes on the track, and I'm watching it. But yeah, the backstretch. Shoot us a text, get a hold of us somehow. We want to talk to you. We want to talk with what had a leg out of the hobble. That's not good. Wish I could help him. Looks like Wyatt Ebenetti's on the track fixing some equipment on his mount real quick. You talk about what these guys can do and what they're capable of. It takes a lot to keep a 1,000-pound animal who's raring to go calm while you work on equipment by yourself out there in no man's land. So big shout out to Wyatt Ebenetti out there on the track.
And our young man who is the...
Am I bringing him back over for a ceremony, Leanne, or just announce?
Clark's going to run back there and talk to him. Clark thought maybe after the 8th, and I said, no, he likes to bug out of here. He might want it after the 7th. He'll call us back.
Okay, that works for me. I'm listening, Steve.
Well, I'm just watching what's going on, too. A little ADD.
Once you get a little ADD, the track is where the action's at, and Wyatt's going to hop on the bike again and take off with the 6-horse Cosmic Mega. Is that maybe this horse? I don't know. Nope. It's later on when he's probably warming up.
Okay. And so I'm sorry I could have flipped on the other camera and got that on, but I neglected to remember I had that access.
I think where we picked up when I got ADD on me was the YouTube chat. That was something we messed with yesterday. I think I have it fixed up. I see, D. Russell's in here. Jermaine Brown's talking to us. We were chatting yesterday, but we couldn't find him after we went off the broadcast. So something that we need to look at, make sure we're doing it right. But we're talking to you now. We see you out there. That kind of keeps it into one central location. And actually those chat comments will pop up on Steve's broadcast equipment. So, it's hard for us to miss them. Sometimes my phone's in my pocket if I'm announcing. I don't quite hear it buzzing around and vibrating back there in my back pocket or whatnot. But that's kind of, I think, the best way to do it. And I will say at this time too, if you've forgotten or weren't with us earlier, if you'd like a race program, there's a link in the description of the YouTube at the bottom of the video. You can go down there and click on the PDF and get today's race program. Follow along with us.
And let us know what you're liking and not liking about
feedback.
the broadcast. We like to hear feedback.
Horses and stuff you like from the fairs. Tell us what we're doing wrong or what we can do better. If there's something that's, could be if you don't like the balance of where the picture is and you want on the left side and to the right, something like that, give us a good reason. We'll definitely work with you and see if we can get the best product out there we can,
And driver change on this one on the number 2 horse.
Okay.
David has a nickname for all these drivers. It's Tom Buzz Graham.
No, Buzz
Jr.
Graham has been Buzz Graham since he was probably 8 years old. I've never known him as anything else. His dad was Tom Sr., so he's been Buzzy, and Buzz is one of the good guys. He's been doing it from a long time, family.
All right. We're glad that you could join us today on the broadcast. Again, lots of different ways for you to interact with us on that. And so, as we get
more updates over here, it's never ending for the life of an announcer.
So, okay, we get another update. You're going to have to, or a broadcaster.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to share that with the crowd, or?
It's an owner change, so it won't affect our data input, and I'll give it in the post parade.
All right. As we're waiting here for this race, it's taking a little bit more time.
I did see Alan Finn out there. I've seen Wyatt, but he's on a 6 horse. Is Tyler Stephen Clemens out there? Okay. I don't know Albert Player, so that'll be a new one for me.
There's a 6 there. And so, handicap-wise, what are you looking at on this race, David?
Good call.
Handicapping today's 6th race. Your track announcer went on top with the 5 horse, Creme de la Creme. Quick note on this horse, there is an ownership update. This horse changed hands yesterday officially. The new ownership of Creme de la Creme will be Wyatt Avenatti, Lane Avenatti, David Avenatti, and Tanner Saltzgaver. But I picked this horse. This horse has been, 12 starts, a lot of miles under the belt. That helps a lot. There's some breaks on the card, but hopefully they're working some stuff out. It's a Sweet Lou gelding. I'm a huge fan of the Sweet Lou's. They're a new breed. They're kind of dominating the sport right now. The Avenattis are trying to get their hands on something they think might be fun for them in the long run. So I'm going the 5 horse on top. Second, I went to the 3, Hey Freaky. It's Indiana bred by Freaky Feet Pete. His a couple starts in qualifiers before coming here to Illinois and had a couple starts since. And just accumulating those miles goes a long way. This horse did win its first qualifier in 2 minutes and 4/5 of a second. So with that win, I thought, you know what, worth the shot, put him in the exacta. And for the 3rd horse, I went to Gotta Go Graham, driven by Buzz Graham today, Tom Jr. This horse, again, I just like seeing a horseman in the bike. I like seeing the trainer in the bike. I like seeing starts on the page. The last quarter in 27 and 4 last mile kind of piqued my interest. So this horse has some speed somewhere in there. I'm going to go 5-3-2 for today's 6th race.
You went 5-3-2. I went only 3 in the middle. 1-3-6 is my choice out there for the race. And if you want to throw yours up there. And we've got Rich Town 1 said hello. We're glad that you could be shout out there.
That's Rob Grismore, our Chi-Town.
Our Chi-Town?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Rob, not Bob.
Okay.
You don't get that, but it's a joke. So he has a horse name. His name is Robert Grismore, and everyone called him Bob, I guess. He actually named his horse. It's Rob, not Bob.
Chi-Town, so I take it he's from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
We won't hold that against him.
Right.
Being downstate guys.
We do have love for the Chicago crowd. We're not. We do it all in jest,
Horsemen, yes. Other people, no.
Well, it is still Illinois. There is a device, but talk about this community, the horse community. When the other 2 parimutuel tracks closed and Hawthorne picked up all the harness racing cards, the northern guys, the southern guys, the Minnesota guys, the Iowa guys and gals, all kind of come together, and so our Chicago brethren are definitely welcomed among our crowds.
And I don't know how close we are to racing here, David.
Fields out. Well, I'll give you about 15 seconds, Steve, if you want. If they move to about your head, I'm going to probably cut you off. So if you want to, they're still moseying back there. That's Albert
No,
Blair.
I got to make a run to the bathroom, and I'm going to wait till after this race when you're talking a lot.
Okay, go ahead and go.
I can't do it with the race being decently closer. They got a parade yet.
They got a parade. Oh, I was going to say, go to the camera if you want. You know what I mean?
I got it.
Oh, I was going to say go to the
So
camera.
if they haven't paraded yet, you can on both channels.
I'm just going to do my thing and let you do your thing. We'll make it happen. We're good. Unlocking my phone is the problem, Randy. I can't get that done in time.
Starters are out for today's 6th race. And let's meet our field for today's 6th race. The maiden pace and also eligible non-winners of 500 Lifetime First Division, sponsored by Mattoon Printing Center Incorporated. The one is Cruise a Mile, owned by Albert Blair of Starkville, Mississippi, bred by Kevin Hostetler of Illinois, trained by Tony Kimbrough, driven today by Albert Blair. The 2, Gotta Go Graham, is owned and bred by Shelley Graham, trained and driven by Tommy Buzz Graham, Jr. The 3 is Hey Freaky, owned by Dr. Cassidy Tarter of Canton, Illinois, bred by Larry Hostetler of Indiana, trained by Mikey Rogers, driven today by Tyler Stevens Clemens. The 4, Play to Rock, is owned by William Weinberger of Martinsville, Illinois, bred by William Weinberger, trained and driven today by Alan Finn. The 5 is Creme de la Creme. This horse is owned by Wyatt Lane and David Avenatti and Tanner Saltzgaver, bred by Burke Racing Panhellenic Stable Corporation of New York, trained by David Avenatti, driven today by Wyatt Avenatti. And the 6 is Cosmic Mega Playboy. This horse is owned and bred by Betty Landman of Charleston, Illinois, right here in Charleston, trained by Stan Swisher, driven today by Harold Finn Jr. Field for race 6, due to the gate shortly.
Scared the crap out of me. I don't think it's on the property. I think it was something, yeah. 5's heading back, you said? To the barn? Okay.
The 5-horse Creme de la Creme has went back to the barn for an equipment adjustment. Be back out shortly.
See, you had time. Wyatt was going off the track anyway.
Looks like a parade for you again, David, as we get ready for racing here. Race 6, we're over halfway through on the race card. We've had an equipment issue. David talked to it, Creme de la Creme. The Wyatt Avenatti horse was having problems with...
I don't know what it was. I didn't see, but he had problems earlier, and then he left the track. We heard a call from the starting gate, so something happened. He was fixing a hobble over there, but I don't know.
And so
hobbles are important. If in case you guys don't know, the hobbles are the we'll call them bands around the legs of pacers. It keeps both right legs moving at the same time and both left legs moving at the same time. I can't think of a better analogy. It's going to sound bad, but if you think of like handcuffs going from the back leg to the front leg on the same side, they're long and they're soft and they're not chain. They're plastic, but it keeps the horse's left side and right side in time, lets that horse pace and stay on gait without having to keep the balance and pace themselves.
I see you had a note here. You've already responded to.
Yeah, I see him in the chats there. I got it open. Belvedere, yeah, we're not going to go up to Belvedere, but that was, I think, one of the biggest fairs in the state at one time. White's back out. Okay. But yeah, that's a huge fair. They do it. The track isn't the greatest thing in the world, but they have fun, and the horsemen are good people, and the fair is just a blast. So I think we have the one horse meeting the gate. Once they can open the wings, we're going to go.
All right. Well, we'll turn it over to David and his track announcing duties. Looking forward to a good race 6 here. Again, David's picks 1-3-6. Steve's picks 5-3.
I picked 5-3-2.
No, he picked 5-3-2. I picked 1-3-6. Better put the initials up there. Because when I do well, I want to be able to take credit for it.
Well, I know which one I did anyway, so.
All right. We'll turn it back over to David in the track announcing.
Field of 6 pacers moving behind starter Mitch Titus in the mobile starting gate on the backstretch. Today's 6th race, the maiden pace, first division. From the inside out, it's Cruise a Missile and Albert Player. Gotta Go Graham and Buzz Graham. Hey Freaky and Tyler Stevens Clemens. Play to Rock and Alan Finn. Creme de Lou Creme and Wyatt Avenatti. And Cosmic Mega Playboy from the back tier and Harold Finn Jr.
Six horse out on the second tier.
Gate turns for home. Here they come. And they're off. And pacing out quickly in the middle is the 3-horse Hey Freaky and Tyler Stephen Clemens grabbing the lead on the inside. It's Cruise a Missile and Albert Player holding that horse on the outside, parking him into the first turn. The field moves past the first turn, the midpoint, and into that backstretch now for the first time. It's Cruise a Missile on top by about a long neck, maybe sitting there second on the outside is Hey Freaky and Tyler Stephen Clemens. It's a gap back there about 5 lengths to Gotta Go Graham and Buzzy Graham. Racing fourth now is Creme de Lou Creme. Racing along 5th there is Play to Rock, and at the back of the pack, looks like it's going to be Cosmic Mega Playboy. 30 and 1/5 of a second to the quarter, 30 and 1. The field moves to that second turn now for the first time, and on top, it's still going to be Cruise a Missile and Albert Player by about a length and a quarter or so. Racing second is Hey Freaky taking a seat there, moving towards the stretch for the first time in the mile. It's racing third is going to be Gotta Go Graham and Buzzy Graham. Here comes Wyatt Abnett moving to the outside for the first time, and Creme de Lou Creme makes a move, but here comes in front of him is going to be Hey Freaky, giving a test to that leader, and Cruise a Missile, 104 and 1 to the half, 104 and 1/5 of a second. They move out of that third turn for the second time now, and on top is still going to be Cruise a Missile and Albert Player. Off stride goes Hey Freaky. Hey Freaky off stride, catches back pretty quickly though. Creme de Lou Creme racing along there comfortably second for Wyatt Abnett. Back there third, looks like it's going to be Gotta Go Graham. Play to Rock racing along there fourth. Along 5th looks like Hey Freaking. At the back of the pack is Cosmic Mega Playbook. They go by the 3/4 mile marker in 134 and 1/5 of a second. Move towards that last turn for this last time in this mile, and on top is going to be Cruise a Missile and Albert Player. On the outside is going to be Creme de Lou Creme and Wyatt Avenatti. Racing along third, Play to Rock and Alan Finn. But they're neck and neck, side by side. They're turning for home. Inside, Cruise a Missile. Outside, Creme de Lou Creme. Cruise a Missile. Creme de Lou Creme. Creme de Lou Creme by a head. Creme de Lou Creme wins today's 6th race. Second was Cruise a Missile. Play to Rock was third. Hey Freaky finished 4th. Gotta Go Graham 5th. Cosmic Mega Playboy finished 6th. Time for the mile. 2:03 and 4/5 of a second. 2:03, 4/5.
That's
Where's Tanner from?
Pardon me?
Tanner Saltzgater, where's he from?
Fisher, Illinois, which is west of Rantoul.
I have no idea. So,
Champaign County.
we're just gonna call him. No.
Champaign County.
We're just gonna call him by name and we'll hope for the best.
We used to play him for homecoming.
Bunnies?
Bunnies.
You guys have some weird folk down here. You have the apple knockers, or
That was way down south.
I guess we.
It's Champaign
Corn
County.
jerkers, yeah.
The
Fisher bunny.
pecan back in the '60s. You know about the pecan? Don't Google it. That's all I'm saying. It's not allowed anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
Back in the winner's circle for today's sixth race, the winner, Creme de la Creme, comes in front of the grandstand for the connections. Contrary to the race program, there are new connections to that horse. New ownership as of yesterday. Wyatt Avenatti, Lane Avenatti, David Avenatti, Tanner Saltzgaver. This 3-year-old Sweet Lou gelding is trained by David Avenatti. Driven today very capably for the Avenatti connections by Wyatt Avenatti. Let's give a big hand for today's winner of today's sixth race, Creme de la Creme, for its brand new connections. Race 6 results. The 1, Cruise a Missile, was second. The 2, Gotta Go Graham, finished fifth. The 3, Hey Freaky, was fourth. The 4, Play to Rock, was third. The 5, Creme de la Creme, was your winner. The 6, Cosmic Mega Playboy, finished sixth. Your fractions were 30-1 to the quarter, 104-1 to the half, 134 1/5 of a second. Time for the mile, 2:03 4/5 of a second. Top down checks, 2:54 3:16 on the bottom. Race 7 is the second division of that maiden pace. 5 maiden pacers due out on the track shortly.
So we come back.
I'll get you the half.
David's got some things. I'll take him off mic. And another good race there as far as racing was concerned. As we take a look at the 7th race, moving right along with these races. I usually figure 15 minutes a race. And we're at, we should have had 6 races done. Started on race 7. We're doing great today as far as time is concerned. And again, just like Major League Baseball, anything else, they're trying to keep things moving, to keep fans interested in what's going on. Attention span for people, Major League Baseball and them have found out 3.5 hours essentially is as long as people will. And again, our stats, when we put them up on the board, are truly unofficial until David calls them official. And we're looking at a way that we can, kind of change that up and make that look. With that, while he's doing that, I'll go to commercial break. We'll be back after these messages.
Come join us for the 25th annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Pine Ridge Mobile Home Transport is the go-to mobile home transportation company. We provide top-notch services including moving, block and leveling, and even demolitions with a quick turnaround time. If you're looking to move or get rid of your mobile home, Pine Ridge is the company to call. We now have dumpsters available for rent at competitive rates. Contact Wayne at 217-313-9744 or find us on Facebook.
Back with you on Harness Tube. Glad to have you on board today as we get ready to go here with that. You want to talk about the Finn family and the GoFundMe account, David? That would be awesome if you got some time there. There you go.
Yeah, I've got some time here, I think. We gave a moment of silence earlier. The Finn family, Richard Finn, longtime horseman, generational horseman. A tragic accident happened at his home fair track earlier this week. The starting gate got into the grandstand and an accident was occurred, and unfortunately, the spectator was hit. Happened to be Richard Finn's daughter, and the worst happened, and she lost her life recently. So there's a GoFundMe for the family. We're trying to do everything we can to help them along in this time, where maybe give them some time to pick up the pieces and move forward in whatever way they can. So if you would, we were asking you, go to the GoFundMe page, GoFundMe.com. You can just type in the Finn family. We have the picture on the screen, so you know what to look for. A picture of Harper and Richard there. A great shot. Unfortunately, it's not something we want to remember this way, but any help would be appreciated. There's been a huge turnout so far. I'm sure they're super appreciative. I know the horse community stepped up all across the nation, the world. So if whatever you got in your heart, if you could go there and help out. There is also a account set up at Hawthorne in the bookkeeper's office. If you're up there in Chicago area, you have some money in your Hawthorne account, you can call up to Barbara and have her transfer some money over to the Richard and Bethany Finn account for this purpose.
All right. And prayers.
Prayers, absolutely.
Folks, there's no amount of money that can bring back their daughter. But here's the thing. We can allow them the time to grieve, that they don't need to worry about some bills. They don't need to worry about some other things.
You're exactly right.
And they need time to grieve. And those of you that have been through grieving process, it is unique to every person. And as a counselor, I talk about this fact that it's called waves of grief. And some days it seems like you're going good, and other days there can be one thing that can just throw you for a loop for that day.
You know, it's never gone right. So you mentioned we ask for prayers. We do ask for prayers. Sometimes those are the most important things. The strength, the solace to be able to get through this and move forward and understand a new normal.
Yeah, and a person that has had a child pass, there's not a time go by. I told David, I was thinking about my son David during this whole time, and he's been gone since 2010, and so for 13 years. But he was a technical guru, and I wouldn't have to do half the technical stuff I do because he would have already had it figured out. And so we'll let you get back to your track announcing duties as we get ready for race 7 here.
Field is out for today's 7th race. And let's meet our starters for today's 7th race. The second division maiden pace, also eligible, non-winners of $500 lifetime. Race sponsor the Coles County Fair for a purse of $483. The one is UCDUC Annie, owned by Dolores Phillips of Athens, Illinois, Jamaica Patton of Rochester, bred by Ron Phillips and Dolores Phillips of Illinois, trained and driven by Jamaica Patton. The two, Little Bit Tough, is owned by David Arbo of Clarksville, Tennessee, Phil Cotton of Fairfield, bred by Coppercap Farm Incorporated of Kentucky. Phil Cotton trains, Wyatt Abnetti in the bike. The 3 is M's Magic, owned by Karen Lampkin of Wadesville, Indiana, Joyce Gumbrell of Wadesville, Indiana, bred by Karen Lampkin and Joyce Grumble. Ray Hanna trains, Matt Avanetti drives. And the 4, Never Till Now, is owned and trained by Jill Brown, was bred by Marion Beachy of Ohio, and driven by her husband Chris Brown today. The 5-horse, Battle Shoe Carly, was bred, owned, trained, and driven by Fairfield's Clay Simpson. His father, Buddy, also was a breeder and owner on this horse.
As we get ready for race 7, not a lot of information to go by here. And again, one of the things that we've done with David is not announcing, is we kind of go over how to read your sheet. As I got new to that, David coming back with more information for you.
Where
well, you picked the mic up. I thought you were...
I was talking to her.
Giving me a fake signal.
Sorry,
there,
I'm giving you mixed signals. Mixed signals. Where were we at? Sorry, I was talking to her about something else. And
well, let's handicap this. You can go
I didn't do handicapping. And when you get to these maidens with all these open white space on the card, it makes it hard.
Are you saying it's a guess at that point?
I don't want to say that. There's always some skill involved, but a lot of it's a guess. You know, one thing you can look at, and this is new information for you, so we'll go ahead and throw it in here now. Let's look at the 2-horse. Little bit tough. Under the word tough, you can see Lex sell 24,000. That means that was a $24,000 yearling purchase from the Lexington Selected sale. That's a pretty nice sale. That horse spent a lot of money. I would say that even though there's not a lot on the page, there's high hopes somewhere. So I'm going to go with that one.
Which one is that?
The 2, Little Bit Tough.
Little bit tough. Okay.
And I'm going to the microphone, so make it quick.
Go ahead.
Field for today's 7th race is behind the gate from the inside out. UCD, UC Annie and Jamaica Patton. Little Bit Tough and Wyatt Avenatti. M's Magic and Matt Avenatti. Never Till Now and Chris Brown and Battle Shoe Carly and Clay Simpson. Here they come. And they're off and racing through the middle of the pack. It's Never Till Now and Chris Brown grabbing the early lead on the outside. Battle Shoe Carly, Clay Simpson racing along third. There's UCD, UC Annie back fourth. Little Bit Tough and Wyatt Avenatti racing along fifth is M's Magic. But back on top, though, it's all going to be Chris Brown and Never Till Now on top by about a length and a half. Battle Shoe Carly races along there second. They're moving towards that quarter-mile marker. Back there third is UCD, UC Annie and Jamaica Patton by about a couple lengths. There's a 10-length gap back to Little Bit Tough. 30-1 to the quarter, 30 1/5 of a second. The field moves into that second turn, and it's all going to be Chris Brown and Never Till Now controlling this field as they're moving through the second turn, past that 3/8 marker, turning for home for the first time. Chris Brown has this horse's tail flagged out, asking him to go out and pace for me a little bit. He's on top by about a length and a half or so, racing along their seconds. Battle Shoe Carly and Clay Simpson. Here comes Jamaica getting this horse, UCD, UC Annie, charged up to make a move towards that leader. 101 flat to the half. 101 flat. They move in the third turn. Chris Brown pulls the earplugs and sends Never Till Now down that backstretch for the second time in today's race. Racing along their second, Battle Shoe Carly and Clay Simpson. Back there third still is UCD, UC Annie and Jamaica Patton. Racing along fourth, Little Bit of Tough. Wyatt Avenatti at the back of the pack. Oh, I had that backwards. That is M's Magic racing along fourth, a Little Bit Tough at the back of the pack. They move to the 3/4 mile marker. Chris Brown takes Never Till Now past that pole and 131 3/5 of a second. 131 3/5 of a second. They're in the last turn, and Chris Brown has some contention now. On the outside, it's going to be Battle Shoe Carly and Clay Simpson taking over the lead for this homebred filly. Battle Shoe Carly now on the outside. On the inside, Never Till Now. Here comes Jamaica Patton and UCD, UC Annie between horses on the far outside. M's Magic, the first lifetime starter. Battle Shoe Carly on the inside. Here comes UCD, UC Annie. It's all gonna be Battle Shoe Carly picks up the win. UCD, UC Annie home second. Third was M's Magic. Never Till Now finished fourth, and at the back of the pack was Little Bit Tough.
2:03 and 3.
Time for the mile, 2:03 3/5 of a second.
Another good race, David, as just not enough track for the number one horse, UCD, UC Annie.
That horse is off a break last start. I think Jamaica did the right thing, is just kind of wait patiently, let that horse kind of do what it needs to do, and then pace home and see what you have, and hopefully you have some horse left for the next start.
Absolutely.
Is that Buddy?
And so.
It is? Okay, good to know. Yeah, I just now got that.
All right, David's going to get...
I'm talking to people on broadcast. I know.
No, that's fine. You're getting information. You're pulling double duty today. I wouldn't say that you need all the help that you can get, but I could say that.
I need all the help I can get. I'm going back to microphone here. Okay, thanks.
And the winner of today's second race moves back to the winner's circle, or seventh race, Battle Shoe Carly. Quick note from the judges stand. This horse was named after everyone's favorite, the late, great Carl Becker. Battle Shoe Carly is a 2-year-old filly by Revenge Shark out of Robbins Terre by Western Terre. This filly was bred and owned by Fairfield's Buddy and Clay Simpson. Great to see Buddy Simpson, 93 years old, out there on the track, collected his trophy, taking it back to the barn area. If you know horse racing in this area, you know the Simpson name. Congratulations to the 5, Battle Shoe Carly. Results of today's 7th race. From the top down, UC Annie was second. Little Bit Tough finished 5th. M's Magic was home 3rd in a big mile. Never Till Now finished 4th. And the winner of the race was Battle Shoe Carly. Fraction was 30, 1/5 of a second. The half and 101 flat. 3/4, 131, 3/5 of a second. Time for the mile, 2:03 and 3. Race 7 checks down, 2:53.41 on the bottom. Official? Mm-hmm. Race 7 is official. Race 8, 3rd division, maiden pace. Scratch the 4, Feisty Ann.
Another good race. Again, we talked about the fact that track had been a little bit longer. He hadn't broke stride. That would have been a whole different race, I think, David, in either one of those cases.
Absolutely. You know, Jamaica did the right thing there, but that's a nice horse. That, you know, the Revenge Shark, I think, for being a new sire last year in the state of Illinois, he ranked 12th nationally among sires for average earnings per foal or per starter. I can't remember. One of those two. He ended up being in the top 15 nationwide. So it's a nice bred thing, a homebred thing by people who know horses, who know standard breds, know the breed. Great to see Buddy and Clay Simpson. Buddy, 93 years old. I think the Simpsons are a new name for you and Lisa, but if you're from Illinois, Clay's brother Dirk is a longtime horseman. He's out at the Meadows now. Dirk's a great friend, a good horseman. He started horses in the Hamiltonian for $1 million purse. I have to think back. The horse was hot. They didn't post parade. I can't remember his name. Dreammaker, maybe? I don't remember. Anyway, but the Simpson clan, Buddy, you know, you have Buddy, Clay, Dirk, trying to think, Brandon, Anthony, the list goes on. You know, they've been doing it from Fairfield for a long time. So good to see the family out here. Good to see them in the winner's circle.
Shout out online from Cheryl Musgrave. Good luck to Battle Shoe Carly.
Well, there you go.
And glad Buddy Simpson was there to watch her 93-year-old young. And a shout out, and we appreciate the comments out there.
We were told that
Cheryl
was a niece of the Simpsons. So
okay.
I heard 93 years young. I wouldn't be surprised if someone said he's still shoeing horses.
Well,
I mean, he's one of those guys. He's never going to give it up. He's just iron tough.
I tell you what, and you see this in some guys around home. Ross Dormeyer being one of them. You got guys 93 years old that are still active, still doing things, and people are telling them to stop, and they look better than I do at 65. And, you know, that's no joke. They get around, they're active. Folks, leave them alone.
Leave them alone. You talk about a hard life. I think Kurt alluded to it on an earlier broadcast that Buddy Simpson was I think, Marine veteran and a horseshoer, and the stable name Battle Shoe was derived from those two loves of his life. You know, shoeing horses and love of his country. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, the last helmet paint job he had a big American flag right front and center. You know, anyone who's a Marine or been through the Marine Corps knows Marines, knows how rigorous that is. Anyone who's ever picked up a horse's hoof and tried to tack on a nail knows that is one of the hardest things in the world, and it has a short shelf life. Your back goes to crap real quick. People get in and out of the game, but Buddy Simpson's been doing it for a long time.
Thankful for the forerunners in all of sports that's blazed the path for everyone else to be there. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, You're listening to Harness Tube and watching us on YouTube. We thank you for that. We'll be back after these messages.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Back with you on the Harness Tube, Steve Surratt, David Brink, Lisa Surratt doing the camera work for you today. We're glad for her. A little cooler day for us to be doing some of the action that we have going on today, David, as final day of racing here at the Coles County Fair. And it's been a good fair for racing.
We've got another shout out. Ron Huff is watching us again today. Sent me an email. We appreciate him, all his steady viewership and following along with us. If you follow us all season long, we feel like we're part of the family. You know, you're in the group with us. You know all of our secrets, right?
Yeah, all of our faults. No, all the little miscues that we make.
I just got a text from Roshan Trigg, one of the top trainers in the state, and we got a nickname for Jamal Denson.
Okay.
Wildcat.
Wildcat.
I love it. I'll throw it in there somewhere. If I remember, I'll jot it down here. But Jamal Wildcat Denson, that'll get thrown in there somewhere. Don't worry.
Well, he's not racing. He got scratched in this race.
We can race next race later on somewhere else.
Or you can say the scratch and the driver.
Here we go. Let me get my phone unlocked. I know. I'm trying.
Fields out for today's 8th race. And let's meet the starters for today's 8th race, a 1-mile pace, 3rd division of maiden, also eligible non-winners of 500 lifetime race sponsor, the Coles County Fair. The 1, Tricks After Dark, is owned by Flacco Family Farms, LLC of Alexis, Jill Brown of Charleston, bred by Brad Gray of Ontario, trained by Jill Brown, driven today by Chris Brown. The 2, Town Line Sarah, is owned by Irving Alston of Elgin, Texas, bred by Elmer Yoder of Indiana, trained by David Avenetti, driven by Wyatt Avenetti. The 3, Fox Valley Bustier, is owned by Cavello Stables of Rickton Park, Illinois, bred by Fox Valley Standard Breds of Sherman, trained and driven by Steve Hot Rod Halford. The 4, Feisty Ann, is a scratch. The 5 is Pasqualina, owned by Eligio Boccia of Chicago Heights, Illinois, who also bred the horse. Trainer Michael Rogers also doing the driving duties. Reminder, scratch the 4, Feisty Ann. And a quick heads up, we will have the trainer of the meet ceremony after today's 8th race. So we're going to have a ceremony awarding our trainer with the most points accumulated for the last 3 days a $250 check after the winner's circle presentation for today's race 8.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we get down 8, 9, and 10. the 3 races that we have left, and David's got the mic in his hand like he's doing.
I'm getting this little bit is like the short time, so I'm trying to get prepared for both things. But I'm
no,
triggering
you're good.
you.
You're good. I was ready to stop.
I know you're
there.
watching me. You're doing your thing.
You told me that was my cue today, so I pay attention.
I'm training myself now is what I'm doing.
My wife says I don't pay attention to cues very well, but I've been paying attention to yours today.
It's the right cues. You have to figure out what cues you're paying attention to, right?
Is that, yeah. Yeah, I get confused sometimes.
I know I do. That's for sure. I can't keep my shoes straight most of the days. End up on the wrong foot, it seems like.
Looks like they're getting to the gate. David, we'll send it back to you.
Field for today's 8th race moves in behind Mitch Titus, starter for today's card. From the inside out, Tricks After Dark and Chris Brown. Town Line Sarah and Wyatt Avenatti. Fox Valley Bustier and Steve Hot Rod Halford. On the outside, Pasqualina and Mikey Rogers.
But still, it's nuts. And they're just not thinking.
Gate turns for home.
And you don't make that much off a thoroughbred gambling. I'm right here.
And here they come. And they're off. And from the inside, it's Tricks After Dark and Chris Brown taking the first call. On the outside is going to be Fox Valley, Bustier, and Hot Rod Halford. Taking over second, racing along their third, Town Line Sarah. And at the back of the pack, Pasqualina. They move out of that first turn for the first time, and Fox Valley, Bustier, and Hot Rod Halford grabs that lead and moves to the front end, passing their Tricks After Dark and Chris Brown. There's about a 4 or 5 length gap back there to Town Line Sarah and Wyatt Avenatti. Back about 6, 7, 8 to Pasqualina and Mikey Rogers. These 4 pacers move to the quarter-mile marker, and they hit that pole. 28 4/5 of a second. 28 and 4 past the quarter-mile marker. On the outside is going to be Fox Valley, Bustier, and Hot Rod Halford. On the inside, Never Tricks After Dark and Chris Brown. Racing along their third is Town Line Sarah. Back fourth is Pasqualina. The field moves towards the home stretch for the first time in today's race, and it's going to be Fox Valley, Bustier on top by about 2 lengths. Racing along second, Tricks After Dark. Sitting up there third, Town Line Sarah and Wyatt Avenatti. At the back of the pack, Pasqualina. They race into that third turn. 1 minute flat. 1 minute flat for the half-mile time. 1 minute flat. Back on top is going to be Fox Valley, Bustier. Hot Rod Halford opens up about 6, 7 lengths now. They move out of that turn, racing along second. It's going to be Tricks After Dark. But catching that horse is going to be Town Line Sarah, trying to make the pass and take over that second place position. They move to the 3/4 mile marker. Fox Valley Bustier hits that pole, stops the watch. 129 and 3/5 of a second. 129 and 3. Fox Valley Bustier moves in that last turn for the last time now. On the inside, it's racing for second. It's going to be Tricks After Dark. On the outside, it's Town Line Sarah. But Fox Valley Bustier, Steve Halford goes to the whip, looks over his shoulder, checks his competition, and sits up and coasts this one home, boys. He said, let's go get him. Fox Valley Bustier, a comfortable winner in today's 8th race. Fox Valley Bustier wins this one. Tricks After Dark, home second. Town Line Sarah was third. Pasqualina, home fourth. 2 minutes, 4/5 of a second. 2 minutes and 4/5.
All right, so race number 8 finished. And the winner of that race is Fox Valley Bustier, finishing first. And as I get my sheet up here, we'll get it corrected. We'll get you on so that you can see what the unofficial results are. As we had a 4-horse race there, we've got that going for you, and we'll have it back up on the screen as for you to see. But a pretty good speed there. We've had several under 2, and a lot of days we'd be happy with the 2, David. And
keep in mind here, this is a maiden pace. These horses have never won a race.
And so to be out front, it's kind of like a horse doesn't know. And so these horses, some of them do not know what it's like to be out in the lead, David, if they've never won a race before.
No, absolutely. If it's been kind of tough sled and this horse gets the front end, you kind of got to teach them how to race up there. I'm going to grab this mic though.
Okay.
And back in the winner's circle after today's 8th race, the winner, Fox Valley Bustier. Fox Valley Bustier, a 3-year-old filly, ICF filly by Some Star Somewhere out of the Coal Muffler mare, Thong Undercolors Oops. This filly is owned by Cavallo Stable of Rickton Park, Illinois, bred by Fox Valley Standardbreds of Sherman, trained and driven very capably by today by Steve Hot Rod Halford. Give him a big hand, folks. Fox Valley Bustier. And if you'd keep your attention focused to the winner's circle for a moment, folks. We see walking over to the grandstand, we got Clark Fairley and Kevin Miller. We want to go ahead and give our trainers award. Here at the Coles County Fair, the trainers accumulate points as they race all week long. 5 points for a win, 3 for a second, and a point for third. And we had our top trainer over there in the winner's circle about ready to get his award. Kevin Miller ran away with this thing. How many points did he end up with so far, Leanne? She's not paying attention. Kevin Miller wins our $250. Kevin Miller, trainer of the meet, Coles County Fair. Give him a big hand. Thank you.
Another good race for us today as we hit 8 in and ready for races 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
And as I said, 2-minute mark, and a lot of times we would have been happy with 2 minutes. It shows how fast this track is.
I've seen maiden paces be 2:10, 2:12. So yeah, they're really moving along out here. Is Arnie Ralston the track man? Who's the track man? Oh, I thought I saw Arnie Ralston in a water truck. I haven't seen that guy for years, and he's out there, got this track in excellent shape.
And so as we get ready to go here and move on to race number 9, David, anything that you've got on race 9 out there?
I didn't get these later races handicapped. I got sidetracked. But, we do have another shot. We got Jermaine Brown in the chats over here. Roshan Trigg. Down in Mississippi, they have, like, stables or groups, and they name them, they brand them, they have colors, and they go wild. And one of these ones you'll see is World Class Racing, a big stable down there in Mississippi. Jermaine Brown, getting a big shout out to World Class Racing. Definitely says Roshan is a Mississippi legend, but shout out to his boy Jamal. So I guess we got to call him Wildcat from now on. Wildcat Denson out there. So thanks, Jermaine, for playing along. Thanks for the shout out for World Class Racing. Thanks for everyone down in Mississippi for following us along.
So you got another nickname, huh?
They're adding up.
They're adding up.
I love it though.
And I tell you what, Hot Rod, when you said that, turned around and looked over here in the booth. Some of these names are new to some of these people.
No, Hot Rod was all him because I had him as Steve. What was he? Perfect 300 or Steve 300 Halford or something like that. And he's like, they call me Hot Rod since like high school. There's some story behind the name. I was like, I can use that. Let's go with it.
Absolutely. And as we look, we've got a 5-horse race coming up. As number 1 is scratched.
Well, let me go ahead and touch on this. It's a good time. It happens in this race. So, as you mentioned, this is a 5-horse race. But if you look at the bottom of the page, it says number 6 starts from the second tier, right? Mm-hmm. We only have 5 across the track here. So the 6th horse starts behind the 1st horse. But what happens is you have a scratch on the rail. The horses on the outside can move in. So that the 2 horse, Danny's Miss Swift, can start from the 1, the 3 can start from the 2, the 4 from the 3, and the 5 from the 4. But if you draw the back tier, you cannot advance to the front. So you can't go from the 6 to the 5 or the 6 to the 2 and fight up that spot. You have to stay in the back.
Seems kind of strange.
Well, here's the thing. The 6 isn't always bad because if the 1 horse leaves better, then you can just follow them right out of there. There's some people like it, some people don't. If you have a new horse, you want to be behind the field, kind of safe from all the traffic and trouble. But it keeps it fair that way,
Okay, you've given a couple of tips. One that I did not know today. The X on the sheet, meaning that they broke during the race, and how many times they broke. That's a really great tool there.
Yeah, let's go through some of that stuff now. If you look through the mile on the program, you can see all the numbers where they were at the stations and whatnot. And as Steve was just alluding to, the X indicates they went off stride and made a break. I don't like seeing a lot of those. If it happens every once in a while, it happens. You're asking the horse to go too much and whatnot. But too many breaks just kind of turns me off a little bit. But you also see on here these little, little, what are they? Little circles, little degree marks, I guess. Little top right. Yeah, those would be the horses parked out. So if the horse is on the outside of the mile, they get that little 0 next to them. So if they're fourth on the outside, so there's 2 in, 2 out, you're fourth on the outside, second over on the outside, you'd be 4 with a little 0 next to you. And if you're 3 wide, you get 4 with 2 of those little zeros. So it tells you, if you look at this program, you can almost envision the whole mile and how it played out if you know all the little tips and tricks on the program.
What does the little letters HD mean?
Where do you see HD?
Next to the degree, Dandy's Miss Swifty. If you look next to her, there.
HD.
Okay.
What are we seeing here?
Seeing right there?
Oh, I was looking up in the, yeah, okay. By head. So your second by head parked out. So that's a 2 parked out head. So that horse, the horse that was leading that station was on the rail. This horse was just off its shoulder on the outside. So the little 0 designation means they're on the outside, and the head means I'm a head off that horse. I'm not a length off. I'm not a nose off. I'm a head off.
And NS means nose.
Nose, yep. There's neck, nose, head. I'm probably forgetting some.
I'm trying to look for others in here, but all those things are helpful. And then it tells you, what the horse led by, or what its spacing was.
Yeah.
So you can tell, like Flying Marvin in the second race down on it from Springfield, it was in 8th place in 23 1/4. So it was way behind the pack in an 8-horse field there.
You know what? And sometimes you get distance like that, and it happens. I see a good line here to talk about something, so I'm going to point it out here real fast. If you look at Amazon Princess, the 3-horse, look at the July 2nd race at Oak Grove. You follow that line all the way across. About the second station, you can see the IM6 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
The IM means impeded. That means another horse, another driver, something got into that horse and impeded their progress, and therefore, if you look at the end of that mile, you can see that they were awarded a placing. And the way that's designated is 3P2. That horse finished third, was placed second, given second place money because of that the impediment that happened earlier in the mile.
Okay. All right. All right. And so there's just a ton of information here. Again, in the old days, they used to have people write in shorthand. You have court clerks that have their own shorthand that they're typing in with all the information. You find that same shorthand, and once you learn the shorthand, you can know a lot about these horses, what their winnings are this year, what their lifetime winnings are, where the breeding comes from, who's training them, who they raced against in the races. So, for instance, you're wanting to look and they won a race. Who did they race against? It might be a horse that's in the same race today.
And oftentimes, if that does happen, usually at pari-mutuel, not necessarily all the county fairs it happens, but if that does happen, those horses will be in bold over here in the finish. So you see the top 3 finishers. Let's look at the 2-horse, Dandy's Miss Swifty. That top line, they won that race. So you see Dandy's Miss S. Second place was Fox Valley, I don't know, GN something. And then Rockin' Legend something was third. So if those horses were in that race, their names would be bolded, indicating that, hey, this is similar competition or same competition.
Okay. And then that way you can see how they've done against that horse before.
Yeah.
The other thing is understanding if a horse won a race, where were they at in that race? Did they come from behind? Did they... were they in the lead the whole time? It's like you said about one of our favorite horses earlier in the day. Let's see, where's it at? Yoder's Gracie. That horse is led start to finish all but 2 times, and the one time it was third, and then it was first the rest of the time. And that one race, they ended up in third. And that horse raced well again today, right out of the gate. And so
made one little break, but you know what? I think most of the field made 2, so that goes along. That horse is okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of information out here that we like to give, particularly to new people. David's looking around, see what he needs to do.
all 5 of them.
All 5 out there.
Yep.
We're blessed today. I got my little fan up, but we really don't need it.
No, it's clammy,
it's
but
better than it was yesterday.
It's nice. So I'm going to grab this thing and we'll go race 9.
Starters are out for today's 9th race. And let's meet our field for today's 9th race. Non-winners of 7,500 lifetime pace, also eligible non-winners of 4 races lifetime, also eligible non-winners of $1,000 in 2023. 1 mile pace for a purse of $1,180. Race sponsor the Coles County Fair. Horse 1, Roland Cali, is a scratch. Scratch the 1. Number 2, Dandy's Miss Swifty is owned by Terry Leonard of Harvard, Dandy Farms Racing of Glenview, Peter Kuchis, and FT Racing Stable of Glenview, trained by Mikey Rogers, driven today by Mikey Rogers. The 3, Amazon Princess, is owned by Jack Joe Heineman of Linton, Indiana, bred by Mary Lee Jeffers and Adele Jeffers Everett of Illinois, trained and driven by Alan Finn. The 4, Flying Marvin, is owned, trained, and driven by Edgewood's Jacob Radel. That horse was bred by Irvin Miller Stable of Wingate, Pennsylvania, and the Fowler and Marcus Miller individuals. The 5 horse, Fernando, is owned by Chad Sloan of Jamestown, Ohio, bred by Mark Atkins of Pennsylvania, trained and driven by Harold Finn Jr. And the 6, Burn-In Rubber, is owned by Dwayne Hardaway of Martinsville, Illinois, bred by William Walters, Joseph Patrick McLeod of Ohio, trained by Kathy Rutherford, driven today by Wyatt Avenatti. Just a quick reminder, I was just telling my colleague here, with a scratch on the rail, the outside horses can move down, so the 2 horse can move down to the rail, the 3 can move to the 2, but with the 6 horse starting from the 2nd tier, must stay in the 2nd tier.
Back with you as we look at a 5-horse race here. Next to the last race of the day, we want to remind you that we will be at the Brown County Fair on Saturday and Sunday with a 2 p.m. start.
My hands are up.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to trigger you. Until my hands touch it, we can go, I guess.
Okay.
We'll come up with a better cue. I don't know.
But
yeah, we're going to home now the next couple of days. Saturday, Sunday, Mouse Trilling this weekend.
Let's take a look at the horses on here. I'm going to do. Do you want to do handicapping for the crowd, or did you do?
I'll let you do your handicapping. I'll grab it and give it over to the crowd.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to give out here is, I think, Dandy's Miss Swifty. I'm going to go with that horse. It seems to be a pretty consistent horse. That's going to be my first pick.
Good choice. The ownership is a tough group. You know, they're all veteran horsemen. They're all big players. So I'll give you that good choice. I'm going to grab this mic real quick.
All right.
Field for today's 9th race is behind starter Mitch Titus, Dandy's Miss Swifty, Amazon Princess, Flying Marvin, Fernando, and Burn-In Rubber. Here they come. And they're off, and it's Flying Marvin and Jacob Radel grabbing the early lead in the first call. On the outside, Fernando and Harold Finn going to challenge that one into the first turn. Racing along there, 3rd is Dandy's Miss Swifty and Mikey Rogers. 4th now is Burn-In Rubber, and at the back of the pack is going to be Amazon Princess. They move out of that first turn up the backstretch for the first time, and Flying Marvin and Jacob Radel will give that lead over to Fernando and Harold Finn Jr. Those 2 on top by a couple lengths. Racing along 3rd there is going to be Danny's Miss Swifty and Mike Rogers. 4th back racing is going to be Burn-In Rubber. At the back of the pack is still going to be 29 and 3 to the quarter, 29 and 3/5 of a second to the quarter mile marker. They move into that second turn, and it's going to, all on top is going to be, who was it? Oh, sorry. Fernando and Harold Finn Jr. move towards that grandstand for the first time today. It's going to be Fernando on top by 2 lengths. Racing along second there is Flying Marvin and Jacob Radel. On the outside now is going to come a challenge from Burn-In Rubber. 1 minute flat to the half. 1 minute flat to the half-mile mark. They move into the third turn. It's going to be Fernando and Harold Finn Jr. still racing their second. Flying Marvin back their third. Danny's Miss Swifty racing 4th. Burn-In Rubber, and at the back of the pack still Amazon Princess. They move towards that 3/4 mile marker. The field straightens up the backstretch, turning towards that 3/4 mile post. Harold Finn on top by about 2-3 lengths now as Mikey Rogers pulls on the outside with his horse, Danny's Miss Swifty. They hit the 3/4 mile marker, 1:29, 3/5 of a second, 1:29 and 3. On top is still Fernando and Harold Finn Jr. for his trained horse. Racing along there second is still Flying Marvin and Jacob Bradle. Danny's Miss Swifty on the outside, racing third. On the inside, looks like it's going to be Burning Rubber trying to challenge for third. We're going to have a horse race for back here, folks. On top, it's going to be all Fernando going to win this one by about 5 lengths. Fernando and Harold Finn Jr. is comfortably winning this one. Racing this, finishing second is going to be Flying Marvin. Danny's Miss Swifty home third. Fourth looked like Amazon Princess. Time for the mile. 2 minutes, 1/5 of a second.
Back with you on the broadcast. Steve Surratt, official results in this race. Big winner here, Fernando. The winner.
Yeah, that's such a great name. I mixed up the calls one time. I had Jacob and Harold mixed up, and I couldn't recover. That's a great name, Fernando. I like that one.
Yep. There's a song, Fernando.
Oh, yeah.
An old song. Old people watching this show.
Oh, that cracks me up. There is, and I do know it, so touche on that one. Kudos.
Yep. It's by the name Fernando. I can't remember the words right now, but
I can almost
I'm
sing
sure
it, but
that I'll wake up.
So I'm not going to.
I'm sure I'm going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
I can almost get 3 notes there, so I'm going to grab this mic. Here they come.
All right.
Section 1? That was close. That's close. Top down, yes.
And here comes your winner for today's 9th race. The Coles County Fair race sponsor, non-winners of $7,500 lifetime. Winning horse, Fernando. This 9-year-old gelding by Del Marvelous, out of the Real Artist mare, Silver Street, was bred by Mark Akins of Pennsylvania. This gelding is owned by Chad Sloan of Jamestown, Ohio. Trained and driven very capably today by Harold Finn Jr. Talk about generational horsemen. I'm pretty sure that he's not only a Finn. I want to say Harold Finn Jr. is also a Fagan. So the horse racing runs deep in his blood. Let's give a big hand here, folks. Fernando, the winner of today's 9th race.
You think this one's official? Yeah, there's no problem. Okay, thank you.
Race 9 is official. Top down, scratch. The 2, Danny's Miss Swifty, was 3rd. Amazon Princess was 4th. Flying Marvin home 2nd in a nice mile. The winner, Fernando. And Burning Rubber was 5th. Fractions are 29 and 3 to the quarter, a minute flat to the half. 3/4, 1:29, 3/5 of a second. Time for the mile, 2 minutes, 1/5 of a second. Top down checks, scratch 3, 4, 2, 1, 5 on the bottom. Race 10, our finale of today's card, and finale of the Coles County Fair. It's up next, the maiden trot for a purse.
Come join us for the 25th annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale to be held on Labor Day, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield. Over 180 yearlings will be offered, including many by leading sires across the Midwest, as well as several by first crop stallions. It's one of our strongest catalogs ever. Find your next champion at the Illini Classic Yearling Sale, Monday, September 4th at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, beginning at 11 a.m. Central.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we get ready for race 10 here in
I love those
Charleston.
shots. Lisa, kudos, good job. I love the grandstand shots, the action, the kids, the pick a winner, the fans. Look at waving on the camera right there. You see that? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
He'll remember that. His family is probably cheering and having a great time. We
they're
love
waving at people.
And there's a
up
pick
here.
a winner right in front of the camera. How great is that?
Okay. All right.
How cool.
Lisa getting that information out there for us.
Or maybe not a pick a winner. Maybe they're just trying to wave at some. Oh, yeah, there's the boy up there. Okay, cool.
She does a great job up there and loves doing this, folks.
Unfortunately, Lisa, we aren't in her ear. She can't hear the whole broadcast. She's kind of blind over there, just pointing the camera, having a good time, making friends, and she does a great job. She's so personable, doesn't know a stranger.
People come up to talk to her all the time
and
say, hey, we love it. So she gets all the feedback.
And I don't know if these new Harness Tube shirts were a blessing or a curse, because now they can pick her out, from a mile away and know who she is.
Absolutely. And so we get ready for the final race here. David,
Yes.
A little housekeeping things. Number one, pray
Please.
for the Finn family. Donate to the GoFund part of that.
And while you're praying, I want to go ahead and offer up the Decker family, too.
Decker family also, yes.
There was an announcement recently that the family put out. They were trying not to deter or detract from the Finn, situation, but Bobby Decker has kind of, I don't want to say slip, but there's not making the progress he was a couple weeks ago. They had to do some things with him, and at 86 years old, the body just is tough to fight that hard. We pray that he keeps fighting and keeps going on. Anyone who knows Papa Deck knows he can make it through anything. He's about as tough as they come. But just offer your prayers up for him. Peace.
Well, as a family heard from the nurses in the emergency room, his injuries would have been difficult for a much younger person.
They said life-threatening to a much younger man, and to hear that for someone of his age, it's we understand how serious it was. All the progress he made in between, it was a miracle to see him fight that hard. I hope he continues on. I hope he's doing okay over there in the family.
Okay, we got racing coming up in Brown County. The next 2 days, 2 o'clock post time, we'll be on the air about 1:30. It'll be interesting. We don't even know how we're setting up yet for our own home track.
And we'll go live about 1:30. I thought maybe we'd go a little early.
1:30, yeah.
If I had a live shot over somewhere, we could do some pre-race interviews.
Yep.
Before I walk over to this, we'll figure it. We're still working
on it.
We're a day away, and we're still planning it.
And hopefully, BC Hornet Sports, we're going to have some more giveaways in the Pick a Winner, helping our friends out from Tropical Snow.
Yeah.
Nick and Kylie. Kylie Carr, the owner of that business. Nick.
How cool, I love the small.
How cool. Snow cones are cool.
That was complete accident. That pun was not on purpose.
But
that was great.
Yeah.
But, great for them, for people like that, stepping up with a small local business, really big believers in the fan, really big believers in the whole, community thing. Nick gives back, Kylie gives back, you give back. It's great people to have in the sport and to welcome them into our arms.
Well, I tell you what, we live in a great community there in Mount Sterling in the Brown County area, and just like we've seen in the harness racing part of this, we have people that have had cancer that people step in for, farmers die, and this is a kind of Central Illinois kind of thing. A farmer passes away, or a farmer's in the hospital, or had an accident, all the farmers in the area will just show up. They'll
come out and get up in his bins.
They'll take care of him before they even go back to their own. They donate a lot of things for that.
It's not. Oh, here comes our. I need to get this thing unlocked. I'm getting slow at this. Our last race, man.
Okay, we'll put you back on mic. But
I got excited.
Hey, that's all right. We're kind of ready to head home. 3 days. It's been a wonderful 3 days. We want to thank our Airbnb people at the Loft here south of town that had the facilities there
on
for us.
1:30. Yeah, they put us up for the couple days,
and we're happy about that, and would recommend that. You can go to Airbnb and just look for the Loft. You will find it. It's out in the middle of nowhere. David's got pictures of deer that you can see first thing in the morning.
And turkeys this morning. There was 2 turkeys in that same draw, 40 yards from me. Now, turkey hunters know they saw me and they got out of there, but the deer were just chilling. They saw me, didn't care.
Or you can be swarmed by hummingbirds, or you can watch cardinals be stupid and run into windows.
But beautiful Southern Illinois, beautiful, rural America. We love it. We were happy to stay out there with the Airbnb folks, and we really appreciate them, and their service.
Yep, absolutely.
It's funny. I've got a shout out here. You probably see it over there now too. And the segue is funny because Jackson Loy is in our YouTube chat. It says "Hardcore Harold Finn for the win." That might stick.
That might.
I don't know why, but I like that. I guess the wrestling fan in me likes the hardcore. It's a wrestling thing. My son was a big wrestling fan, so I think Hardcore Harold Finn is gonna. I gotta clean it up. Hardcore Harold Finn. It's that second D in Harold that's getting me, but
or it's
a good
Harold Hardcore Finn.
How about just Hardcore Finn? Now
Harold Hardcore Finn. Kind of like we do with
flip it around the other one.
Put it in the middle.
Do you know why they're in the middle? Because if I put the apostrophe at the beginning, it thinks it's a function in Excel.
Well, here's a new thing. Between now and our next, even in our next broadcast, we'd like nominations for nicknames.
Yes.
Some of these dry. Keep them coming. We love having it. It makes it personal.
The nicknames I've put in so far have been ones that I've either made up or have heard in the backstretch or whatnot. But I've gotten some wrong. I think I had Denny Gardner as Golden Jack at one time, and someone said no. Goom is actually his nickname, or Dinbo. So we're learning these stories, the nicknames, where they come from, all that kind of stuff, and they're coming out. It adds some flavor to it. It adds some spice to the broadcast, I think. And I think the horsemen are having fun with it. We're getting Jackson here, giving us a shout out, saying, "Hey, we got another nickname in Hardcore Harold."
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Harold Hardcore Finn. That might be better. I don't know. I can't decide.
A 10th race coming up here for you in its 10th race.
We got 6 head out.
Yeah, we got 6 people in this race, and we have seen Lotes, Trotton, and Bro in Knoxville back in the 10th.
That's Jackson Loy. That just gave us a shout out. He's the owner of that thing. He named all these things Loy's something, So you got Loy's, Trotton, Bro, Loy's. I can't remember the other names he has, but he has that name designation.
And Hawkeye Dewey, we just saw at Lincoln, finished second there.
On the bike.
Loose Interceptor, we have seen that horse 4 times, and in fact, we saw it on the first day of racing here.
Give me your picks, because I'm going live.
Okay, my picks. I'm going with the Jill Brown horse 1, the Wayne Evanetti horse 2, and the Brown horse 3. I'm kind of going local on this one.
Field is out for today's 10th race. And let's meet today's starters. The 1, Loy's Trotton Bro, is owned by Jackson Loy of Beecher City, Illinois, trained and driven by Mikey Rogers. The 2, Hawkeye Dewey, is owned by Patrick Horace of Belton, Texas, bred by Raymond Mast of Iowa, trained by Roshan Trigg. Jamal Wildcat Denson in the bike today. The 3, Lou's Interceptor, is owned by Stacy DeRoos of here in Charleston, bred by Flacco Family Farms, LLC of Illinois, trained by Jill Brown, driven today by her husband, Chris Brown. The 4 is a scratch. 5, Stylish Grace, is owned by Karen Lampkin of Wadesville, Indiana, Joyce Gumbrell of Wadesville, Indiana. Those 2 are responsible for the breeding as well. Ray Hanna trains driver Matt Evanetti. The 6 is Cat Demick, owned by Flacco Family Farms, LLC of Alexis, and Jill Brown of right here in Charleston, bred by Swellen Smith of Michigan, trained by Jill Brown, driven today by Jill Brown. And the 7 is Galloway. Galloway is owned by David Gingrich of Chariton, Iowa, bred by Last Stable, Connecticut, William Devon Jr. of Illinois, trained by Jill Brown, driven today by Wyatt Avanetti. Field of 6 conditioned trotters due to the gate shortly. Scratch the 4, Stormado.
As we get ready to go here, race 10 again. After the winner's circle, we'll go off the air. And David will have to remind me he came up with a new finish line for us, and I'll let him sign off if he wants to. But this is a maiden trot here. And we're about ready to get going. As they take a look at things here, as we get ready to go. And David, what was the closeout that you came out with that we're going to close on? Or closing?
We'll see you in the winner's circle.
We'll see you in the winner's
We'll
circle.
see you in the winner's circle. Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're going to sign off with something, just kind of keep it going and, hashtag something or whatnot. But, I think we'll see you in the winner's circle might just stick. It sends our viewers down the road. It welcomes them back next time, and it celebrates winning, right? I mean, it's all the fun things.
Yep. And being a pastor,
Yep.
there is a winner's circle.
You're playing into that. I love it.
Yeah.
Going live here.
Field moves in behind the gate for today's final race, the 10th race, condition trot. From the inside out, it's Lois Trottenbro and Mikey Rogers, Hawkeye Dewey and Wildcat Denson, Lou's Interceptor Chris Brown, Stylish Grace, Cat Demick, and Galloway. Here they come. Nice clean start for these maiden trotters. Between horses going to be Lou's Interceptor grabs the early lead on the outside. Stylish Grace and Matt Evanady challenges for that, looking for a hole now. Racing along third is Hawkeye Dewey. Racing fourth now off stride. Looks like Lois Trottenbro. Fifth on the inside is going to be Cat Demick, and at the back is Galloway. Field moves out of that first turn, up the backstretch for the first time on the inside still. Lou's Interceptor and Chris Brown on the outside is Stylish Grace, Matt Evanady. Patiently along there third, Wildcat Denson racing, closing up that gap. Now giving them Wildcat Denson just gave up the hole to two horse, and now we have Hawkeye Dewey racing third. On top is still 30 and 2/5 of a second, 30 and 2/5 of a second to the quarter, and Chris Brown takes this field out of that second turn, moving up the home stretch for the first time now, and Lou's Interceptor on top by about 4 or 5 lengths. Stylish Grace races along there second for Matt Evanady. Racing third now is Hawkeye Dewey. Trotting fourth is Galloway. Here comes Jill Brown and Cat Demick fifth to challenge the stablemate. And at the back of the pack is Lois Trottenbro. 1 minute 4/5 of a second. 1 minute 4/5 of a second to the half. The field moves out of that third turn up the backstretch for the last time of the Coles County Fair 2023. And it's the local Chris Brown with Lou's Interceptor for local owner Stacy DeRoos on top. But here comes Stylish Grace and Matt Evanady. Matt Evanady overtakes that leader now and opens up at about a length and a half to 3/4 mile marker. They hit that pole. 1:32, 2/5 of a second to the 3/4. 1:32 and 2. There in the last turn, it's Stylish Grace and Matt Evanady as he takes this field through the last turn for the home stretch for the last time. And here comes Cat Demick with Jill Brown. Cat Demick on the outside, on the inside. Stylish Grace, Cat Demick on the outside. But they're fighting back is going to be Stylish Grace outside, Cat Demick inside, Stylish Grace. Oh, we are tight and tight. We have a horse race, folks. It's going to be Cat Demick, Stylish Grace, Cat Demick, Stylish Grace by maybe a nostril. Cat Demick on the outside finishes second. Hawkeye Dewey home third. Galloway fourth. Lou's Interceptor finished fifth. And at the back of the pack, Lois Trottenbro. Time for the mile. 2:04, 2/5 of a second. 2:04, 2. Photo shows the winner to be the 5, Stylish Grace by a long nose. Stylish Grace, your winner in today's 10th race the finale of the Coles County Fair 2023. That mare making her way back to the winner's circle for connections.
Top down is 635, scratch 1.
And here is your winner. Stylish Grace is a 4-year-old bay mare by Pine Tucky out of Love and Lizzie by Warlord Cosmos. This mare was bred by Karen Lampkin and Joyce Gumbrell of Indiana, the ownership duo. They turned this horse over to Ray Hanna for conditioning. Ray Hanna turned the lines over to Matt Evany, who capably drove this horse to its second lifetime win. New lifetime mark. 2 minutes, 4/5 of a second. Let's give a big hand to the winner of today's finale, Stylish Grace and Matt Evanetti.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Today's 10th race results. Top down, Loy's Trottenbro was 6. Hawkeye Dewey finished 3rd. Lou's Interceptor was 5th. The 4 was a scratch. Stylish Grace, the 5, won. Cat Dimick was 2nd, and Galloway finished 4th. Fractions 30 and 2 to the quarter, half and 1 minute and 3/5 of a second. 3/4, 1:32 and 2. Time for the mile, 2 minutes, 4/5 of a second. Is that official? Race 10 is official. And with that, we conclude the harness racing at the 2023 Coles County Fair in Charleston, Illinois. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for joining us all 3 days and hanging out with us on YouTube or in person. We love having you here. We love racing down here. Thanks. Drive safe. We'll see you in the winner's circle.